Uh, good evening, people. Welcome to the Real Chelsea. We're going to discuss the Chelsea West Ham post-match reactions tonight, plus a lot of other topics about our great club. I want to start with the game yesterday. It started first half. We had the ball, possession, great. It started all, we passed the ball as usual, up and down, sideways, left ways, you know. But, I don't blame the players too much because West Ham, they sat back, every single player. I thought, other teams, smaller clubs used to come to the bridge and sit back. But West Ham, they really sat back, every single one of them. I don't blame them. It's the way they have to play against us. But, it went on along. First half got a bit boring in the end. And, sorry about that. Not to have someone on. In the end, it wasn't a great first half. But the second half, it got better slowly. We came out better, more quicker, attacking more. And I think, the lineup was pretty good, very close to what I predicted on Friday night, the preview show. So I got wrong. I put Broja in the middle. I got that wrong. And I had Ziyech up there instead of Pulisic. But everyone else I got right. I was glad that Tuchel listened for once. He dropped Havertz, he dropped Mount. The only one who should have dropped as well was Mendy, and he didn't. I was still upset about that because it showed in this game again. Mendy is making mistakes. He's still doing it. He can't get the balls. Before, when he started with Chelsea, he was getting to the ball. Call out any ball, he was up there, punching it away, holding it. But now, I don't know, he's lost confidence. For me, he has to be dropped. And I think he will be on Tuesday because he has a little knock. I don't think it's a major knock, but he could be dropped and Kepa given a chance. But, the subs really influence the game for me, especially Ben Chilwell. What a game he had when he came on. Thanks to him, we won the game. I think that the West Ham disallowed goal when Mendy got fouled. It was, if you keep watching that, it was the player, West Ham player, forgot who it was. He did touch him. He touched him. He kicked him in a way. But that was a 50-50 decision. So I don't know why on the match of the day, Shearer was going mad that no way that shouldn't be disallowed. It was 50-50. And the rules are that the referees protect the goalkeepers. So that's what they were doing. So we got the luck of the draw for once, which we deserve. But I got really pissed off with the media and social match of the day, or everyone, Sky Sports, all going crazy because we got the decision. That hate is still there, especially Alan Shearer for me. After what he said about Roman Abramovich, it shows how much he hates us. He hates Chelsea really badly. And he showed, if that was Newcastle, he'd be saying, no, it's correct. The goalkeeper has to be protected. Now, because he was Chelsea, no, they should give the goal. But I'm glad they got it right for once. And we got the luck of the draw. We deserved it. We deserved the win. It wasn't a great performance by us, but it was a hard battling performance. Let me just add Max in. Yeah, where is he? Oh, sorry. Hold on a minute. Yeah. I can't add him yet. Max, I have to wait a bit because there's 6 of us here. We only allow 6 at a time. So Yeah, for
Take
me,
me,
yeah. Sorry,
take me out
what?
and put Max in. Take me out and put Max.
You can. Oh, yeah. You can come back.
Yeah, he might have limited time. You don't know.
Yeah.
Just put Max in.
All right. It's up to you. All right.
Get on with it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on a minute, Dormy. Let's just put Max in. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying, Max. Welcome to you as well. Yeah. So I thought.
Hi guys.
Yeah. I thought in the end we deserved to win. I see your show, Max. The comments you made about everything. I agree with a lot of them. The only thing is, I think we played better in the second half, especially the last 20 minutes. Ben Chilwell,
Yeah.
That goal, the first goal he scored, was amazing.
Yeah.
Great goal.
Yeah.
But and I just want to finish. Hold on, sorry, Max. Yeah, and yeah. So for me, we should have, we deserve the win. VAR, we got the decision at last because we deserved it. It was a 50-50 for me. Could have gone either way because he did touch Mendy. Mendy's up for the game for being so slow to come out. And he should have come out and got that ball. But, we got the decision, and I hate this agenda against us from everyone saying it definitely was a goal. Especially, Sky Sports, match of the day, Alan Shearer in particular, always has something to say about us. Even when we deserve to win, he has an agenda. Yeah, yeah. So I'll let you chaps come in now. Um, Yeah, I'll start with the first one. Yeah, and just Max, are you limited time, or you okay to?
I'm here for about 45 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so not, yeah.
all right, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Dex, what do you think about the game? Just opening words for now from everyone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, again, thanks for having me on as always. Yeah, no, I didn't watch the full game. I only watched like bits and pieces of it. I thought Chelsea from when I watched it earlier on Match of the Day, I thought they weren't at full throttle first half. They had to get going slowly, and then when they got the first goal, they kind of came alive a bit more. And then obviously West Ham got one, and then from there on, I thought they got better and better. You could just see the West Ham was sitting back a lot because that's just how West Ham are like away from home. They always tend to sit back against teams and try and soak up as much pressure as possible. And then where the substitute, I think Chilwell had a great game when he came on. Scored a great goal. I think having Chilwell back in the starting 11, I think it kind of gives Chelsea a bit of a refresh and something different to bring off the bench if when Cucurella's playing or not playing. You can always seem to rotate between them two. But yeah, no, like I said, Chelsea played very well. Obviously, everyone's talking about the midfield and stuff. I think Gallagher, he's a good player in that, but I think he just needs to have a rest out a bit. He's finding it hard in that midfield at times. He's only young, but you can just see he looks a bit uncomfortable at times. And I don't know if I sent it to you the other day, Nick, but there was actually a video that went on the internet from that films Tuchel on the sideline when Gallagher misplaced a pass and Tuchel went absolutely mental on the sideline and he was shouting and throwing his hands in the air and all that. So you could tell that Gallagher's kind of find it uncomfortable in that midfield. But yeah, no, I do feel for him. He's only young and he will get better and improve. But yeah, I think he just needs to sit a game out and then just come back in when needed because he's obviously finding it hard in there. And but apart from that, I think Chelsea played very well. I agree with you, Nick, that Mendy needs a bit of a game out, because you can just see that the mistakes and everything that's happening with him in goal, it's getting to him and it's affecting his performance. And normally, goalkeepers, they don't have a lot to tend to do in the game, but when they do make a catastrophic mistake, it does deem their confidence and it does psychologically do them damage. So maybe just sit him out for a game or two for the Champions League game, obviously, against Zagreb, and just play Kepa. So, but yeah, I definitely agree. So yeah, well, that's all I've got to say for now, really, on that point.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah, Gallagher is not a DM. I mean, we have to wait and see what Zacharia's like. But Gallagher will get better. He's trying so hard that he makes small mistakes. But that's his age. Because of his age, I trust him to get better, and I think he will. Let's move on to you, Trezeguet. What's your opening thoughts?
Yes. Hey everyone. Yeah, basically, from that game, what this team needs for me basically is it needs a creative player. In fact, it needs two creative players. I don't think one is enough. You could tell when Ben Chilwell came on, he was that creative spark. He gave the game much needed life, much needed life. And I think that we need absolutely like two creative players centrally. They have to be midfielders. I don't think it's sustainable at all to be creating from the wings time and time again. For some reason, the Premier League teams can't really deal with our wingbacks. I mean, if that means it's their quality which is that high, or what, I'm not sure. But they haven't yet dealt with them, and I expected actually that the beginning of this season that they're not going to be as creative, as um influential in games, but it seems like they still are. It seems like they still got it, and yeah, that's fantastic. I'm happy for the win. Not a very good win in my books, but yeah, I mean, it was luck, guys. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, sometimes I think if we were not praying for this team, man, what would be of this team? Because the way the goals are coming in, it's like.
Where's he gone?
What happened?
He's back.
Yeah, back. Sorry. So a little technical problem. Nothing special. Okay, let's. Yeah, I'm still here. Trezeguet, God, what's happened to him? Hold on a minute. I think something happened. Yeah, you see,
Exactly, I'm back.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was wild. That was wild.
Something just happened. All right, carry on. Sorry, Trezeguet.
All right. It's all good. Yeah, so I think as I was saying, like the team is crying out for creative players, mainly in the midfield. And I agree with Dex and yourself, Nick, that Gallagher is young. He's still getting the hang of things. Chelsea is a different style of play to the team that he was at before. So, but I really do think that he is a quality player, and I'm happy that he's actually part of this club and he's growing with this team, because I hope that he will come good really, really quickly. And yeah, but at the same time, we should give them time. The win, as I was saying before, like the win was an ugly win. It was not a good win, but a win is a win. We'll take it. I'm happy for the 3 points, but as well as you guys, I'm sure most of you have seen, it's not a sustainable play. You know what I mean? We need different things. We need different different solutions in a game. We can't just rely on our wing backs. And yeah, that's it for me.
I think Nick's muted.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thanks, Certified. Yeah, I was. I just want to read the comments before we move in. Blue Blood, first of all, none of the TV pundits mentioned that Antonio should not have been on the pitch to score the first goal, as he should never picked up a second yellow. Yeah, that's facts. I agree with that 100%. And this is a funny one from Green Turf. Luck is part of the game. Anthony Taylor is trying to sabotage the stream, which I think he is. You know, it's not funny. I think he's up to funny tricks with me. I don't know. I'm joking, chaps. Yes, yeah. Thanks for the comments, chaps. Yeah, so Trezeguet, let's move on to was it you? Yeah, Certified. Your opening comments, and I'll go to Bobby and Max.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, welcome, Certified, as
Yeah,
always.
I'm back in London. You know how it is.
Good.
It was a good holiday. Yeah, and you won't get any Wi-Fi problems from me again there. So basically, the game, to be fair, all I'm happy with is the 3 points. That's just it, just the result. I'm not really happy with the performance, especially in the first half, really. And the thing about Gallagher, let me talk to you about something. The players we have, let me name them all. Gallagher, Marco Correa, Raheem Sterling, Aubameyang, Zakaria. Who else is there? There's Mateo Kovacic, Kante. The reason why these players, you don't really see them on their game as much. Let me tell you something. These players are used to football that is quick. Do you get what I'm saying? And they rely on football that makes sure that they get the ball. They know that they will get the ball often. This football that we play is too slow, is not sustainable, and most of it is just relying on the centre backs. That football is just all about the centre backs, really, the defenders and the wing backs. That's just all. Like, I'm being very honest with you. Like, I'm happy with the win and result. I'm not happy with the performance, in my opinion. I wanted all these players to start, all these players that I said started, apart from Pulisic. And I was happy, very, very happy. Dropped Havertz, Mount, Jorginho, Aspie. But as I was saying, just one question before I carry on. What change did you see in the football?
Sorry, Certified. What teams you said?
No
What
change.
change?
It was the
What
same.
change did you see in the football?
There was no change at all.
No, the first
We
half
played the same way.
was a normal Chelsea play, what we've been seeing for the last few games, all season really. Just passing, and not enough attacking, not enough end product. But the second half, we did move up a gear. We were passing again, but a bit quicker, I think. And you know, we got there, but don't forget, it wasn't easy against a 10-man with their goalkeeper, 11-man defense. We had to get through that. That's not easy. West Ham were relying on the break, and that was it. We deserve to win. Look, you know, we're just starting a rebuild. Don't forget, when we get going with the other players, you know, they will come in. Zakaria, let's hope he does a good DM job. And, you know, the other Aubameyang to come in. Broja getting better as you watch him. You know, things will get better. I'm really optimistic. You know, we're not going to play this sideways, backways forever. It will change. And Jorginho will, you know, probably end up going because Kante's staying. So things are going to change. But, you know, like I keep saying, we have to be patient. Yeah, carry on, Certified.
Yeah, Nick, I understand your point, but then the problem is the players that we have, we can't really say we have to rebuild because I'm not saying that we should do a rebuild, but not like a massive rebuild as if we've been shit for the last 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. These players are not that bad. Do you get
No,
what I'm saying?
no,
The ones I can,
the
they're
players,
good players.
yeah, they're great players. I'm just saying it takes time because everything, it's a new era, new owner, new players coming in. Don't forget, we have a lot of players who we signed. About it's 11, I think, altogether.
You understand?
It will take time for Tuchel to get it going, but now he has his players, like I keep saying. Now it's up to him. He's got his players. Now he has to make it work, and we will
But
see.
I'm
Yeah, go. Sorry.
but I'm being very honest. I understand we have to be hopeful in this team,
Yeah,
but I am just saying, who really sees Tuchel changing? Like, let's be all honest. Like, let's just talk with the heart now. Who sees Tuchel changing this football? Like, if we see him come up with the excuses when we lose, and then he knows he's been outclassed or dealt with like managers like Jesse Marsh and all of them. I'm not saying Tuchel out. I want him to change, but then I'm worried for this guy. Do you get what I'm saying? If
yeah.
this guy, do you get
I,
what I'm saying?
I see
I,
what you're saying.
that's the thing. I'm worried for this guy because then if we lose him, who else is out there?
Let's,
Every manager has got a job almost.
I know.
Zidane, I don't see him changing. I don't see him. I feel like he's like Tuchel as well. But that's the thing, man. Like honestly, oh,
Yeah,
I'm still like the football.
yeah. I know.
Like I'm watching. I was watching Man United and
Yeah,
Arsenal. Like you can
Arsenal,
clearly see the attacking.
especially
Like
Arsenal.
when we attack, they can do both. They can
Yeah,
defend. They can do both. You know what I'm saying? Not
Arsenal.
like you know what I'm saying. Like we
Yeah,
want to be. We want to be challenging. I'm not saying we're gonna challenge, but we want to at least get close to City. Like as you said, Nick. But
yeah.
then
I
to
think
be
we.
that we need to look at others. Like, what are we doing that they're not, that we're not? What are they doing that we're not? Compare like the football is just the football is just not good. Like I watched the West Ham game, and it was quite embarrassing to see that although we had most of the possession, Fabianski didn't have much to do. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like all we were doing, the midfield gets the ball, they pass back, most of the ball was played from the centre backs to the wing. If the wing gets covered, the wing backs will go back, pass back to the centre back. I don't
mm,
like it. I think it's,
uh,
and let me tell you something. Sorry, Nick.
football. I know it's not
Yeah,
football, but like I said, Tuchel gets that team right. We're not going to see pretty football. Till he, finds his first 11 and sticks with them. It's going to take a few games too.
but then
But
it's more to than the foot. It's more than the football, really. I think it's more like if we want to play this football but better, there's also need to be some. There also needs to be some movement when we're in possession. Like no one's creating an option for themselves, and if you don't create an option for yourself, then you're gonna have slow football because people gotta think, where's my options? And then they're gonna pass back. That's the problem. There's no movement. Like we understand, but look at the way Brighton play the three at the back like us. That's the way we should be playing the three at the back. That's why how I wish football. The football it would be good if there was more movement and there was more creativity. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's more dribblers.
yeah,
So dribbling. So yeah, and Aubameyang, I hope he doesn't struggle in this Chelsea. I hope this number 9 curse gets broken. I know he doesn't have that much time to do it, but I just hope he at least gets it does get broken because we just need we just need to create these chances for him now.
mhm.
Like, and if Aubameyang all of a sudden becomes that player that acts like Lukaku, am I gonna blame Aubameyang? We can't really blame Aubameyang because this is a Tuchel signing. Really, if
Yeah,
Aubameyang, do you get what I'm saying?
yeah. We have to wait and see about that sort of
But that's just
But,
my take. I was
but
happy with the 3 points, but performance-wise, I'm not happy.
I don't know what's happening the way we're playing, but at the moment we have to keep winning games. At the moment, it's the 3 points what matter, just to keep up there with the rest. Then we will see what Tuchel does with all the players he's got. You know, I'm sure he will get it right. Like I said, I won't judge him right now. I'll judge him end of the season. But Blue Blood makes another good comment here. Chelsea had a facial point in the second half. Who was occupying the centre backs and making forward runs when Broja came on. Yeah, good point again. And yeah, let's move on to. We come back to you, Certifier, later with the rest. Let's move on to Bobby and then Max. Bobby, what's your take on the game? For you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nick, hello guys. Since last night I've been on various platforms, and wow, these young people that we've got these days, you give them a picture and all they see is misery. What do you want? Look, Nick, just as you've said, do you know Chelsea more or less are starting their pre-season now? All these other teams, Spurs, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, they had all their players in place during pre-season. We had just come out of a sanction. We were starting on the back foot. Our owners cleared the old board. They went into the transfer market for the first time ever, and they were hit by an aggressive Barcelona that humiliated them a little bit at first. They learnt very quickly and they performed absolute wonders by the end of the transfer window. And this is just the start. As far as the first 11 is concerned, they brought in about 7 players and they promised us 6. They brought in a whole load of youth players. They got rid of all the dead wood that we were having to deal with before. I mean, what do these guys want? This guy himself has said that he's had a team that a lot of them weren't sure whether they were coming or whether they were going. He himself, most of us didn't even know if we were even going to have a club. He's taken out some of the deadwood expensive forwards in Lukaku and Werner, and he is rebuilding. The
Yeah.
operative word, rebuilding. That back line played for the first time together against West Ham. Fofana had only come through to the club about 2 days earlier. Aubameyang and Zakaria were sat in the stands. He played against a very, very negative-minded David Moyes. He looks at Chelsea as a soft touch, and his tactics are put on the bully boys, kick them, play a deep block, low block, and try and hit them on the break. What Tuchel did was right. Okay, I'll show you we're not a soft touch. We've got a couple of tough guys as well. We'll put them in the midfield. And if you want a bore fest, remember Mourinho style, if you want a bore fest, we'll give you a bore fest. What frustrated West Ham more than anything was that we didn't come onto them willy-nilly. We weren't a soft touch in the center of the park. And when we switched tactics and brought on our more creative players, they were confused. Put Brozier in there to give them something to think about. They were confused. Now, we made some mistakes. Mendy needs a bit of time off. He's got to clear his head because he's been making mistakes long before now. The defense are still getting used to each other. We will get better. West Ham did not deserve a damn thing. They didn't. That was a foul. Those are the rules of the game.
Yeah.
You don't have to kick a goalkeeper's head off in order for it to be a foul. And they committed a foul before that incident with the jiu-jitsu neck throw of Antonio on Thiago. Look, we are coming. The team needs to get together and give this guy some time. Goodness me. We're even targeting new players for the midfield in January because you can't do. Rome was never built in a day. He's got rid of the old head scout. We're getting a director of football. One of the people on the short list is an ex-player. Why do these guys only see doom and gloom? Goodness me. This is what the media want. They
Yeah.
don't want this club to be great. They know that this club and this manager is on the trajectory to something very, very special. They were hoping that when Roman went, Chelsea wouldn't have any money. What they've now found is that they've shot themselves in the foot
Mm.
because Chelsea have 10 times the money and they're building something extremely strong. We got to be a bit patient for the geezer. At least he didn't lose the game or draw it. At least, fortunately, he won it. Although
We,
everybody's talking about the VAR call. The only thing that surprised me is that VAR called it right for Chelsea for a change.
yes, and he was right. It was a 50-50 decision. They had to protect the goalkeeper. That's the law. And this Alan Shearer, Bobby, did you see what he was saying? I really, I'm sick
You
of that.
know, these media people, we're
Yeah,
getting onto them. Yeah, I was with Johnny on his stream last night, and a couple
yeah,
of us old Chelsea geezers were there. And I'm so glad a lot of the Chelsea fan base are onto that nonsense. The only thing that concerns me is the young uns. They're
yeah,
getting caught into this mentality and
yeah.
allowing these people
They,
to get them down. You
they,
know,
they're scared. They think,
yeah,
we're playing very bad. That's what we're playing bad. We're not playing pretty because we have to win, and because Tuchel hasn't got all the players gelled together yet. He will. Be patient, like Bobby. 100% what you said. Every single word. I agree. Give it time. It's a rebuild. And we will get there.
yeah.
I don't know what anyone says. We will get there.
We just got to try, keep winning while we're playing badly.
Of
Let
course.
this man cook. When he finishes cooking with his players, Zakaria hadn't even come on yet. I
Yeah.
know people like Jorginho, their days are numbered. We're trying to get a new deal for
Keep it
Kante.
going.
We've got a new deal for Brozier. We're just about to sign a new deal for James. Wow, they're moving quickly. We got to sometimes draw breath and say, look, well done, guys. It was a
Exactly.
tough game. Keep going. Just keep racking up those 3 points while we get ourselves together. We started way behind the curve. All these other teams started before us, and we've done well to get to where we are right now.
Exactly. Yeah, great points, Bobby. I mean, like I said, I agree with you every single point. And look at Fofana. Sorry, I forgot to mention Fofana. Great debut he had. Didn't put a foot wrong. He's going to be some player for me. And so, don't all get down. We're not playing good. We're not playing nice. Because, like we keep saying, it takes a few games. It will take a few months. But we will get there. And my prediction is the same way it is. We're going to get close to City. Anyway, let's. Bobby, anything else before I move to Max for now?
Yeah, I'm good. The only
Yeah.
thing is I'll hang around for a while, but I might have to go in about half an hour if I can. If
Okay.
you're still on.
Yeah, we're here.
Let me let Max go. I know Max
Yeah.
is always on a short time.
Yeah. Okay, Max. You heard what we had to say. What's your take?
Yeah, hi guys, and I hope everyone's okay. Thanks, Stab, for giving me the time to come on in your place. Appreciate that. I am one of the older fans, but I hear what you're saying, Bobby, and I take on board all what you're saying. Behind the scenes, I think we are making good steps. We're moving in the right direction. We've obviously, I take what you say about the fact that we're on the ban and the way that the players that we brought in seem to be positive. Players we've let out be positive. But also, having said that, it's not being pessimistic or down, but you also got to be critical as well. Looking at the way that we're playing, because it is a concern, and it's not just the fact that we are in a rebuild or whatever. What I have seen from Tuchel, and I said I'm not going to go anything against him wanting him out or anything, but my concern is that we haven't seen a progression in especially from attacking point of view of what we want to do. Yeah, if you look at Stephen Graham Potter at Brighton, as certified, so they play a nice, lovely brand of football, attacking football. Yeah, that's why I want to see at our club a little bit more bravery on the ball, a little bit more, less risk of, And it was good. It was a good point. That what's his name again? Dex, yeah, Dex. It's a good point what Dex made, which I think is affecting the way that our players play. In that, with Tuchel, what he does, he berates everyone on the touchline. So, what you saw with Gallagher, the reason why Gallagher is probably not expressive enough is if they do make an error, then he's there shouting at them. We saw it with Loftus-Cheek, Callum Hudson-Odoi last season as well, where. And they're too scared to take on their man or to make that difficult pass because they'll get a berating. I think sometimes you just need to let players play a bit, give them that freedom to play. Okay, keep that defensive structure, but when you're in a final third, if you make it's okay to make a mistake, But as long as you're trying, and I don't think, from what I'm seeing, I don't think they are getting that. They're not feeling that sort of freedom to go and express themselves properly. The positive, what I saw was because a lot of character in yesterday's game. We as Bobby said, West Ham do come to bully you and harass you, but we fought toe to toe with them. We didn't let them push us around. You even saw Reece James standing up to the bully boy Antonio when Antonio thought he can mess with our main man. He gave him a little push and said, "You know what, you're not going to push me around." So that to me sort of set the start. So all the others who were there as well, so they were battling. The team selection I thought could have been better as well. Pulisic, he had a chance to prove himself after. I want people to do their talking on the pitch, not outside the pitch. Okay, he wasn't playing in a position that is he's familiar with in that sort of free roll up front, but he wasn't putting in the effort for me, and he was more like the Invisible Man than Captain America, if you're looking at superheroes for me. And when Kai Havertz came on, you saw that endeavour. You saw, even before his goal, you just instantly saw the way he pressed, he harassed, he was all over the park, and he wanted. So even when things haven't been going well for Kai, he's been doing the basics. He's been putting in the work, putting in the effort. And that's what I want to see as a bare minimum, that you put in that effort and make it difficult for your opponents. Ben Chilwell did something that our other players, he just done something simple, because I know Certified said there was no movement. That goal came because he burst the gut and got into the penalty box. None of our players were doing that. They were standing static. They weren't moving for the ball. He just done a basic run into the box. Fortune favours the brave, as I said. So he scored that goal, and that goal gave us the confidence to go on to win the game. And the last point with the VAR situation is just, okay, it's about time we got a break. Some people can argue that they thought it was a foul, some people not. If it was down the other end, it happened against us, I wouldn't have been happy. So, but it is what it is. And a lot of people saying, okay, that wrestle down by Antonio, that neck lock he did. But even before the goal, a lot of people not talking about what led up to the goal. He did a foul on Ruben Loftus-Cheek, similar to what happened to Kai Havertz in the Tottenham game. His foul was what got them that first corner in the first place, which led to the second corner, which they scored from. No one's talking about that neither. And, I just cannot stand the fact that we got no one in the media sticking up for us. The reason the Premier League reacted because of that was because of all the media outcry. With us, it was, oh, well, Cucurella got a pull on the air, bad luck, Chelsea, and that was it. Nothing was said, but the noise coming out of the media because of that situation was just terrible. And it proves that there is an agenda against us. If something happens to Chelsea, all of a sudden, remember what they said about Cucurella? Oh, there's nothing in the rules about hair pulling or whatever. They came out today straight away. 24 hours after this game and said, "Oh yeah, we admit we got it wrong." And what that does now, when it involves Chelsea, referees may not give us the benefit of the doubt because of this, and that's the effect that it has on on games going forward. If we because it's Chelsea and we're an easy touch and anything goes with us, we're going to see more wrong decisions go our way, and there's nothing that we're able to do about it. So yeah, that's what I've got to say for now. If Stav is still in and he wants to do an opening statement, I don't mind sitting in the back, backstage if he wants to come in, and I'll come back in afterwards. If he's still there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in the background.
Yeah, so if you put him in to make his opening comments, I think he should see what he's got to say.
Yeah.
Put me on the backstage and I'll come back in whenever. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny. Last Friday I didn't have no one. I was by myself. Now we
Matt,
got.
don't worry, I can pop out. I'll come back later. So I've
You
got
sure?
a few things to do.
Yeah, it's up to you, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be back later.
All right. I'll put Max there. I'll put stuff in your place till you come back. We move around. Okay. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Stuff. Stuff.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So let's hear your.
Sorry?
You heard what we. Stuff. Can you hear us?
Yeah, but so I muted myself. Finish talking and I'll jump in.
I said you heard what we were saying. I think I'm sure you did. Yeah. So let's hear your opening statement for the game. What you thought, what the game went.
Well, I'm with 35, right? And Max, I really don't like our football, right? I just find it stifling, right? I don't like the style, the system, whatever you want to call it, right? I just think it stifles creativity. It stifles players having the freedom to take people on. What Max said about Pulisic, I agree with, but by the same token, what I'll say is the guy's probably cheesed off and just doesn't want to be at Chelsea, and basically poorly blocked the move, right? But why did he become so cheesed off? And the same thing with Ziyech. Right? These guys are the ones who've got the creativity, but they don't do it. Same as Max said about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Right? You can't stand there berating players all the time. And the other thing is, after the game, he goes on TV like last week. I think it was at Leeds. We didn't stick to the plan. And we didn't carry out the plan as we discussed, etc., etc. Well, I want to know what the plan is, right? If you're going to turn around and say that, I want to know what the plan is. I don't want that, because I just view that as a dig at the players, right? He's coming out with, we told him to do this, they didn't do that, right? So he's having little digs at the players. That has to stop, just as it has to stop him shouting at players on the touchline, especially the younger guys. Right? They need encouragement. Right? I'm still fuming from his statement regarding Billy Gilmour, right? And that for me shows I've got doubts, right, about Tuchel's character. And that for me shows, right, why did he need to turn around and say that it didn't go the way they both wanted? He got relegated. He got dropped, and he's come back, and it's difficult to become a Chelsea midfielder. No, as a world-class coach, it's your job to get the talent out of that kid. That kid, right, has probably got a newfound determination because he didn't get them relegated, right? And I'm not seeing Tuchel nurturing that young talent, right? I'm not seeing him harnessing and using that aggression, that determination of the young lads, like Broja showed yesterday. I'm not seeing him harnessing it and bringing it out and putting it to use. And that comment, that statement was bang out of order, right? And that's why I'm questioning his character, right? Billy Gilmour was never going to save Norwich going down, right? The clue is.
Let me interrupt you. Tuchel saying he got them relegated.
He said, right, that
Yeah.
he faced relegation with Norwich and he'd been dropped, right? And it's difficult to come back from that and be a Chelsea midfielder. Why? There's a clue, right? There's a clue there, right?
Mm.
They came to Stamford Bridge and shipped 7 goals without Billy Gilmour in the team, right? He was playing, when he did play, he was playing with players who weren't on the same wavelength as him, right? When he played against Man United, Ronaldo couldn't get anywhere near him. He was even beating Ronaldo in the air and not on the deck and everything, right? I don't like that. Right? If you don't want him, right, fair enough. But for me, he basically demeaned him before he released him, right? And if he comes back to haunt us, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Let me
And
just say
hang on.
what I heard. People. I
Go
heard
on.
that.
You're going
What?
to try defending him?
No, Sav, let me go on mute 1 second. No, I'm not defending no one. You know, I love Billy Gilmour. I didn't want him to go. I hope he does great in Brighton and proves a point to Tuchel. I do. But what I heard that they had a meeting and Tuchel couldn't promise a Billy Gilmour first team, every game, first team playing time every game. And Billy Gilmour decided, he wanted to go because he's young, he wants to play, which I don't blame him. But I didn't hear anything worse than that. I don't. Yeah.
Well, you're not looking at that statement properly, then, are you? Basically, he said they got relegated, he got dropped, and he's basically saying that Billy Gilmour's not good enough, right, for Chelsea, and I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Please don't jump in again, Nick. Right?
Yeah.
Let me finish. Right?
Yeah,
I'm not having that. That statement was a disgrace. Right? He probably chose Norwich. We know that because Farker is a friend of his. Right? And I'm doubting his integrity and his character. This is Tuchel I'm talking about. Right? You don't do that to the kid. Nick, he came back determined to fight for his team place. He went to the US, right, ready to fight for the team place. 4 or 5 days later, he's dispatched him to the under-23s. Didn't get a minute match time, right, with the first team. How was he going to prove himself? This is a guy, right, Tuchel, who'd already made his mind up, right? He'd already made. I can't be.
I agree with you there. I said it all the time. I was very unhappy with Tuchel. I certify everyone what I was saying on those spaces. But I was saying the same. But what's done is done. We have to move on. We can't bring Billy Gilmour back now. That's the thing.
Hang on, Nick. Listen, I'm not going to pander to Tuchel all the time, right? Make him out to be some great coach or anything. Great coaches take hold of these kids, right, and they bring the talent out of them, right? He did the same thing to Ampadu, played him centre defence, right, silver spot. He had a blinder, right, didn't put a foot wrong. He even praised him, right, and all that. And at the end of the day, he sent him on loan as well, right? We're allowed to have anybody under 21 on a B list. Have you seen our announced squad today for the Champions League? It's only got 24 players on it, right? It's only got 24 players on it, Nick. I can't be dealing with this. If he didn't, if he can't nurture the talent that's coming through, right, and we're going out and buying talent, right, which I'm okay with, right, but nurture your own talent as well, right? And I'll give you one other defining moment with regards to this. When we lost 1-0 to Arsenal at home, right, when Sloginho passed the ball back to Kepa and put Kepa in dire mire, right, right, and he was stretching to save it and everything, right? In the rest of that game, right, Sloginho was watching his own shadow. Right, he did nothing to justify staying on that pitch. Billy Gilmour was the one who was taking the ball. He was spraying it into Arsenal's area, right, picking players out, creating chances, and at half time, he's the one who got sent off, right, not sent off, taken off, right, because
I remember.
yeah,
I
well,
was,
that day I've been angry about the whole thing,
yeah,
right?
I was angry.
Okay, if I'm going to give him any, listen.
Yeah, well, hold on a minute. Look, we're most of Chelsea fan base are very angry about Billy Gilmour's situation. We love get the chance.
Missing,
he deserves the chance,
Nick,
but
you're missing the point.
The problem is,
it's not Billy.
Yeah.
It's not Billy, is it?
I'm just saying what you said. You know, the problem is Tuchel is stubborn. He wants, I don't know what he wants sometimes, really. He wants proven players, but doesn't want to take a chance. Yeah.
When a guy, right, comes to the club 18 months ago, right, walks into the club and says, I know about the Chelsea Academy, they've got great players here, and I love working with young players and developing them. Who's he developed? Go on, who's he developed? Right? Forget Reece and Mason Mount. They were already in it, right? They were established.
Young players.
Right? Chalobah only stayed because the Cundy deal fell apart, right? And he was even Chalobah wanted to leave, but it was blocked. Why? Because he knows he's not going
to send him on loan, didn't they? They wanted to send
no,
Chalobah on
he
loan.
wanted to, no, he wanted to go on loan, and they blocked it because he knows he's not going to play.
Well. Todd Bowley blocked it. It wasn't. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if a kid wants to go, it's because he knows he's not going to play, right? And all right, at least he was willing to go on loan and not asked to be sold, right? But Billy knows because of the way he's treated him, he's got no chance. Like, he's never going to play for Tuchel. And if Tuchel had seen the Billy Gilmour we saw under Lampard, right?
Yeah.
But he's obviously had a conversation with that other German idiot, Farker, right?
Yeah, we know that.
Farker's told.
We know what happened. It was the agreement they made to send Gilmour. It happened, and we can't change it. Didn't work out. I didn't think it would work out. Him at Norwich, but
Nick, let's get this right.
Yeah.
No, Nick. Wait a minute, please, Nick. Yeah. Let's get this right. In the agreement, there was a clause to call him back if he didn't play so many games, right? Yeah. And he hadn't played the games by then, and we decided to leave him there, right? If Farker was made obvious he wasn't going to pick him, why leave him there? Could have took him and put him somewhere else, right? And who never liked that? Nick, choose a club that always gets.
That's too cool. We can't change what he thinks. But, like I said, we're going to judge him. Well, his time will come.
Nick, I'm telling you, Nick, I keep sat here. I'm sat here listening to you, right? That you still trust him, you believe in this, you believe in that, all that stuff, right? And I'm telling you why we are not going to be successful, right? Because he's going to keep cheating players up.
Let me just say, wait, stuff. I said I will judge Tuchel end of the season. I've been saying it all season. Ask anyone. With the players we have, we can't. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying all the time.
Nick, I'm telling you, right? Reason why I believe Tuchel is not going to be successful, right? He came in, won that Champions League, right? Half won. Well, he didn't get us out the group, did he? And he lost at home to Porto. Then the Super Cup, right? If Ziyech doesn't score that goal, there's no penalty shootout, right? And then you've got the Club World Cup. I'm not going to get overexcited about winning 3 trophies. Yeah, prestige and all that, bragging rights and all that. And I'm glad that we won them because it meant Roman won everything before he left, right? But I'm not getting excited about it. All I've seen is us plodding along in the league, right? I can sacrifice the Carabao Cup. I can sacrifice the FA Cup, right? But I want to at least get closer and see some progression, like Max said. And I'm not seeing any progression.
Yeah.
And yes, he's got players. He's got his players, right? But he's going to carry on with the same stifling, boring system, right? And his players, apart from Aubameyang and Zakia, right? Whatever his name is, right? Were on the pitch yesterday, right? They were on the pitch when we got battered as well. I can't see any progression, Nick. We're just sitting there, plodding along, right? And like Max said, you can't be berating the young lads from the touchline. You're supposed to coax them, encourage them, and bring the best out of them. And the football, right? Let's face it. We know we're going to face low block teams most of the time, right? It's actually the better teams, yeah, that are going to play a higher line, like Man City and then Liverpool wants to, and they will find their form, right? Okay, that play the higher lines. And who did we beat out with those 2 last year? Neither of them. Lost 2 to Man City, drew twice with Liverpool, right? And they play a high line, which should suit his system, right? Because the system's based on getting in behind a high line defence. But we cannot open up a low block defence, right? No matter what we do. Yeah, right. It was a matter of brilliance, right? 2 pieces of brilliance by Chilwell. The cross to Havertz, right, and his own goal, right? Without him, we could have lost that game. Whether Antonio should have been on the pitch to score his goal or not, that's neither here nor there. The fact is, he was on the pitch, right? We can't change that. But until Chilwell came on, we never looked like scoring. Did you notice, right, that when Harvard stood up to come on, that Kepa leaned over and G'd him up and said something to him, right?
Yeah.
When Gallagher got sent, Kepa, right, the Gallagher, right, that guy, that guy is, he loves being at Chelsea, right, despite that fact that he's not getting a fair crack of the whip.
Yeah,
right?
He's a true Chelsea.
But that should be Tuchel's job. He shouldn't be the substitute goalkeeper sat on the bench, right? I can't. I'm not saying Tuchel out. I've accepted he's staying in. He could be there for another 2 or 3 years, right?
No one knows that. We'll see what he does. Let's move on from the game.
I just want to mention the foul on Mendy, right? Yeah, right. Seeing as everyone else mentioned it,
oh yeah,
I didn't see it. Right, I didn't see it as a foul, but I saw it right as Bowen leaving his foot in, looking for the penalty, right? So if you try that on and you don't succeed, right, serves you right, because that's what he was doing. He jumped over with the first lead leg and then dragged the second one right behind so he could get a contact off Mendy and go for the penalty. So, right, it's called karma. He got what he deserved, nothing, right? And Mendy, I don't know if he was injured or not, right? But if he wasn't, well played Mendy, because his play acting was better than Bowen's, right? So Bowen should have thought of that before leaving that leg in there and dragging. That's me, I'm done. for now.
Yes, Dove. I know what you're saying. Like I said, Tuchel is to blame for a lot for our young players. Let's bring in Dex because he wanted to. Dex.
Oh, yeah. So basically, I've been listening to what like everyone's saying.
Yeah.
Obviously about what Stav said about the Gilmour situation. I think if you look from it from a bigger picture, I think the comments really made you shouldn't really be making comments like that to the media in public, because what that does, that just makes headlines, and then it kind of like puts him and the club into a bad picture. If I'm honest, like I'll be really honest. I'm a massive fan of Gilmour. I think Gilmour's a great young player. I think he's got a bright future. He's got a lot of talent. And I think even though his future at Chelsea was not going to be like 100% there, send him out on loan it just wouldn't make any sense, because he didn't want to go on loan. That's what they tried to do originally. They tried to send him out on loan, and he was like, "Nah, just sell me, because I don't want to have this merry-go-round again." Because if you look at Chelsea's track record of young players, especially coming through the academy, they always tend to send them out on loan like 4 seasons in a row, and they never get any pathway into the first team. So I think fair play to Gilmour. I'll give him a massive respect for him standing up and saying, "No, I want to have a better future than what I'm going to get here," because he's not going to get into the first team or anything like that. And so I think I moved to Brian. Do you know what? When I saw that on deadline day, I thought that was a great move for him. Graham Potter, he's a great manager. He's got a great style of football, and you can see what he's done with Colwell there. He's another Chelsea youngster that's gone there. I think that gives him a great platform for Gilmour to go there, express his football, get his ability, and get his career on track. I saw the Brighton game today. They won comfortably against Leicester. Gilmour came on off the bench, and do you know what? He did quite well, to be fair, in that midfield. Did very well. And he'll just get better under Potter, because Potter, he's got a track record of improving young players and making young players into better stars. So I'm glad that Gilmour's like gone out and wanted to make a career for himself. Fair enough. Every young player should be doing that for themselves and for their whole footballing career. The thing about me with Tuchel, like obviously, I'm not one of these fans that want to come on here and slate and criticise rival managers, because I have respect for I have respect for football fans in general. But the thing about Tuchel that I don't like about him personally, for me, and this is why I think Klopp and Pep and all that, all the top managers have over him. He can't improve young players. He can't develop them. He can't make them better. He doesn't give them a chance in the starting 11 consistently. If you look at like Klopp and Guardiola, look at the amount of young players they brought for their teams. You got with Curtis Jones, Trent, and other players as well. Like Bob always gives youngsters a chance. Look at Harvey Elliott as well. Harvey Elliott, the first team starter now most games, and I'll tell you what, he's got great talent, and he'll get better. Harvey, he'll be 100% more better in the future. Pep, like Phil Foden, and I can't remember the other kid's name, but he hasn't made much. But he plays in the Carabao Cup. I can't remember his name though, but this is what I mean. Like with Tuchel, the thing that bugs me about Tuchel, and this is why I'll keep bringing that Gallagher thing, when he had a go at Gallagher in that video that I sent around on Twitter of him shouting at him for misplaced the pass. Yeah, but like I'm not gonna lie, if a senior player made that, like Jorginho or Kovacic, would you get the same reaction from Tuchel if they did that? I highly doubt it, because I haven't seen it so far, and I don't think anyone else can tell me that he's done that with them. Maybe he has, but not as much as he does with the young players. You got to remember, these are young players. They're very fragile in their career. You know, they're only coming through the ranks. You know, they're playing for massive clubs with world class players. You know, and they're playing the hardest league in the world. You can't expect them to develop and be good overnight. It takes a lot of time, a lot of development, and a lot of training. That's all it takes. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I say about, you know, all the top managers like Klopp and Guardiola. This all they have over Tuchel. That's the only criticism I have for Tuchel as a rival fan, and that's just how I see it. But apart from what's said about Gilmour, you know, they got rid of Gilmour and they got the Sakaria in. Obviously, they needed a midfielder, but then this is what you got. This is what I kind of question when I watched on deadline day. If they got the Sakaria in, I think I let his stats Sakaria. I don't think he played many minutes for Juventus last season. I think he played about 4 or 5 games. Do you know what I mean? So he didn't have much of a sniff of football. So then I'm just thinking, so you're getting a guy in who hasn't played much football recently in the past couple of months, but then you're getting rid of a Cobham graduate and who knows the club inside out and the fans adore. You're getting rid of him, and then you're bringing in this guy who, from Italy, Serie A, it's not the most attractive, prettiest league in the world. Like, it's a bit slow, it's a bit dead. So, you know, you're getting this guy in. Obviously, Sakari does well. It's a loan deal, so it works for both parties. But at the end of the day, I still think Gilmour could have had a place in the squad. But like Nick said, you know, the manager's decision, you know, the manager's the manager. He knows the players. If he doesn't think Gilmour's good enough or for the team and all that, then fair enough. Let Gilmour go out and prove him wrong, you know, and see what he does at Brighton. And then they'll make him shut him up. And then maybe that'll make Tuchel think twice about getting rid of youngsters with talent. But yeah, that's all I've just got to say from my point of view.
Yeah, Dex, I agree. Wait a minute, Sam, hold on. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's the manager at the moment. And like I keep saying, we will judge him, you know, end of the season. But, you know, Billy Gilmour wants game time. Now, it's up to him. I hope, like I keep saying, I hope he goes and proves, you know, what a great player he can be. Then Tuchel will be, you know, looking at it. And you know, you never know. One day he could come back to Chelsea. If he proves himself, of course, Chelsea will be looking at him. So, you know, we have to wait and see. That's what I wanted to say about that. But I want to bring up Addy. Wait a minute. Staff, hold on. Put your mic on mute, Staff.
No, I want to respond to what Dex just said.
Wait a second, please. I want to bring Addy here. Addy's been waiting for a long time. He's been in the background. You know, I'll let you respond, as soon as that is finished. Yeah, go on, Addy.
Good evening, guys. How are you doing? For a few days, I've not been on the stream. I've been busy, and I got a new phone actually. About Chelsea, back to Chelsea business. I think we were lucky to get away with yesterday's match. It was a close one. To me, what I would say is what Mendy did wasn't supposed to happen. The goal should have stood. The goal should have stood because Mendy threw himself outside. He went out of his protected box. He charged through the feet of Bowen, and we got lucky. If it had happened the other way around, we could have been saying, England is fraud. This is this. This is that. But the problem hasn't, been talked about. Chelsea problem is still the same. We're still going through the same phases of problem, whereby our midfielders are not creating players, are not, attacking players are not really working. The likes of Gallagher, I doubt if their future remains with Chelsea because Tuchel's system is not actually giving room for these guys to play the best of their football. I think we can do better by just trying to know what better suits the team. Right now, the team doesn't even have a first 11. The team doesn't have a quality winger. Sterling was lost. The last match, Sterling was lost. We didn't see much of Sterling. This problem is much. Is much. I just feel something should be done soon enough by changing the system. By changing the system, the philosophy of football we play. I saw what Arsenal did today. Arsenal and Manchester United played counter football. That is what they are known to play. From the likes of Brian Giggs, they are good on counter. They don't do much of high press. We see Man City do much of high press. Liverpool pressing football as well. But what Chelsea plays these days, I can't really understand. you know mm, I don't see any football pattern which suits the style of our play. We pass the ball, then we go back to the back. We still continue passing the ball at the back. We don't push attack. That is why our our strikers find it difficult to score.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
correct. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Go on, Nick.
Oh, I was talking to someone here, so carry on.
All right, all right. We don't have that pattern of football. We just play. We pass the ball around. We depend on our wingers to we depend on them to create chances, which is bad. Which is bad. We should be known for a kind of football, attractive football that people will know what. During Mourinho time, there was a time they call us pack the balls football. We pack the balls, but we get the goals and we don't allow goals in. We are known for something then, even though people criticize that system of football. But at the long run, we knew we were playing a kind of football. We remember Sarri. We called sometimes ago we call it Sarri ball, or what's it called? Yeah, Sarri ball. Always pressing, pressing, pressing. But this time around we tend to hold possessions without doing nothing meaningful with the ball. We just hold possession. We are quite fortunate yesterday because West Ham did get the second goal back immediately. Kai Havertz scored his goal. That was a pure goal. They were robbed. Let's forget about they are having agenda against us. We know FA does not really like Chelsea, but we got away with that one. Mendy was so reckless, and he was so stupid. I'm sorry to swear. He was so silly in that game. You
Yes,
know,
he was. I agree, Andy.
yes,
I agree with you about Mendy. He has to be dropped for me.
yeah,
So
he needs to be dropped. He's giving the coach reasons to get him dropped, but I don't know what's wrong with Tuchel. He keep on behaving stubborn, 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 stubborn. He keeps on making some silly mistakes, giving out 3 points. Now we have Manchester United ahead of us in the league. Manchester United we were dropping points at the first few games. We're thinking Manchester United ain't gonna come to the party, but I watched Manchester United match today, and I was like, wow, this team is gonna go well, well, well far. It's not a great team yet, but they have this compact football. They play with a lot of energy. I can't remember when last time we scored from a counter attack. This was what we did last season. The season we won the Champions League, we scored from counter attacks. But these days, I don't see guys pushing ball forward. All we do is just pass, 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 then go back again, pass, 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 then go back to the keeper. It doesn't make sense. We count on the likes of Racy James and Cocorella. Now I'm saying why Chilwell will be so important to us this season. Chilwell attacking threat is massive. Chilwell gets into the box. He positioned himself in that promising area. But Cocorella is good. No disrespect, but Cocorella is more of a player that he minds his defense as well. He doesn't like to commit too much, so that to recover won't be a problem for him. But Chilwell doesn't mind. He throws himself out there, thinking he has some cover up for him whenever he goes up there. Chilwell is in the game. He's been in the team for a while. He knows the system of the team. But I just hope Tuchel could just do some magic to change, the pattern of which these guys plays, the mentality of which they play. When Gallagher was in Crystal Palace, we can see how Gallagher, plays his attacking football. He was more of a pressing player. Now he came back to Chelsea. He couldn't even move the ball quickly. He can't even make forward passes. He keeps going back. I don't know, probably because they're training with Jorginho. Jorginho is messing up their mentality of their attacking mentality, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. They become sloppy. They're not moving the ball quick enough. They are always out of ideas. They don't know when to shoot. They don't know when to make runs. Sometimes you see Sterling making runs. You see the attackers making runs. The midfielders would have to take the ball backwards. You see the likes of Thiago Silva making long passes. You see the likes of Koulibaly making long passes, which are meant for the midfielders. The midfield is just a shame right now. It's just a big shame. It's a big shame. I hope something Tuchel does some magic, because if he doesn't, it's gonna cost him his job. Because now there's no excuse why Tuchel won't perform after this big spending. Our new management has been able to give him. If it doesn't perform, then it should be showed the exit door. I'm not gonna pity him on this, because he's been given time to change this, and I'm not happy with the way the squad is. I'm not happy. To be honest, I am not happy. Thank you very much. Staff, or Nick, you can go on.
Yeah. Let's Stav, you can react on who was it? Dex was saying, I think. Yeah.
Right, listen, Dex, I don't blame Billy for leaving, right? I don't blame him for leaving. And he's done the right thing, right? They wanted to loan him, but he said no more loans, because he knows he's got no future under Tuchel. It's pure and simple. And Tuchel, right, stopped him going on loan when he first came in, when Tuchel first came in. And Billy stayed. And I go back to that Arsenal game when he yanked him off and left Jorginho on. It's not just stubbornness with Tuchel. He's got his favourites, and they can do no wrong, right? And he'll still keep picking them. He's stifling the creative players in our squad. And that includes Havertz, that includes Mason Mount, it includes Gallagher, right? Because this system, right, where you've got two DMs, right, means no real midfielders playing from the midfield. So the three up top, right, have to be responsible for getting on the end of the things from the wing backs. There's no support from the midfield, right? I know football's moved on, but God, I would love a system that would allow players like, if Tuchel was in charge before, what the hell would a Ballack and Essie and Lampard, right? All these players, Di Matteo, Poyet, going back even further, all these players who supported the attackers, right? The front line, and got goals. They all got goals from midfield, right? And I'm just sick and tired of watching this lethargic BS. And you can't just keep blaming it, right, on the players and the squad, because some of them, right, are being held back. Right, that squad's good enough to be challenging. Maybe not win the league, but it was good enough to be challenging. Right, and we haven't got close to Liverpool or Man City yet under Tuchel. He's at 18 months. He's now in his second year, right? In his second year, Pep won the league title and the Carabao Cup. All this nonsense about, it took Pep and Klopp 5 years to do this and do that. It didn't. It took one season for Pep to learn his lesson, and he put that into practice in his second season, right? He's now had, 260, 270 million, whatever the hell it is, spent on this squad. He's got no more excuses, but he'll still fail And I'll tell you why, still, Phil, because he'll stick to that boring system of 2 DMs, right? When a team's playing low block against you, why do you need 2 DMs? Right? When a team's playing low block against you, why do you need someone like Jorginho? All I ever hear about Jorginho is, oh, but a lot of you Chelsea fans don't realise like what he actually does for the team. Like, and all I hear is, oh, he controls the tempo of the game. What tempo of the game? If we're playing against a low block team, what tempo is it to control? He slows everything down. You may as well give him the opposition shirt and say, go out there and do the job for them. Because he slows everything down, he breaks. That's why Lampard dropped him in the end. Lampard loved him, he picked him and played him, and then Lampard dropped him because we didn't attack quick enough, didn't get the ball forward quick enough. Right? And he still keeps picking these guys. Right? And like I just can't. And it's not, like I said, it's not just Billy and Purdue as well. Right, those 2 guys, right? He should have took them to one side. He said, I'm going to use you. You're definitely going to play in all the cup games, right? If the Champions League sorted early, you'll be playing the Champions League. You'll be in the odd league game as well. You'll be on the bench, but I'll be using you as substitutes as well. You'll get plenty of game time. I really believe in you. I believe in your talent and all that stuff, like Mourinho did with Joe Cole, right? Mourinho on his first day went into the changing room and he said to them, are you all happy to just be in the top 4 all the time? Or do you want to be champions? Because I believe you can be champions. And you listen to John Terry, Frank Lampard, all those guys, right, who said he lifted them up into the air and they had belief in themselves and they believed they could win the title. And after 2 or 3 months, they knew they were going to win the title. Tuchel doesn't exhume that to me, right? It's not just that he's stubborn, right? He just doesn't know how to get the best out of his players, right? Pulisic didn't go from a great talent, right, to being a waster, which he now is, right? Until Tuchel came in. Look what he's done to Billy. Look at Ampadu, 2 years in a row. Oh, he's a great talent. He's a top talent, right? And all this, and then he sends him out on loan both times, right? He did the same thing. The other Sterling, I forgot his first name now, the young lad, right, who's just gone out on loan. Yeah.
Dujon.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to include him in the squad. He's definitely in the squad. Dijon Sterling, right? And what's he done? He's gone out on loan, right? So some nondescript championship team, right? He talks them up and then boots them down, right? No wonder they go away. No wonder because they don't believe they have a future at Chelsea under Tuchel. And then when you've got a boss, right, like Bowley, who comes out with, we believe in him and we're going to give him another extension, a 2-year extension, right? Then those young players are thinking, like, well, I obviously have no chance, right? Take them to one side, build their personality, their character, their confidence up, right? Tell them how much you believe in them and all that kind of stuff. Now, instead, we're going into the Champions League and the Premier League with 24 players, right? Yeah, if Chilwell gets injured, we're okay on that side. What about the other side? Who's he going to force to play like wing-back if Reece James gets injured, right? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's not a right wing-back, is he? I like Ruben, but he's not a right wing-back and he's not a DM either. It's all about his system, right? It's like forcing players. Like, and I've heard Max say this as well, and I'll repeat, and I've said it myself, right? Square pegs into round holes to suit his system. And I'm fed up with it. I've never been as fed up as this, right, with a Chelsea manager, right, since Avram Grant. And under Avram Grant, we finished second in the league and got to 2 finals, and he screwed the 2 finals up because he was useless as a coach, right? And then I just can't understand. I do not see us winning anything other than a domestic cup, right? And even then, yeah, we lost on penalties in 2 domestic finals, right? But he wasn't good enough, was he, to get the team to carry it over the line and win, even after extra time, right? If it went to penalties, it meant we weren't good enough or we weren't prepared good enough. Same with Leicester, right? 3 finals. I don't know. You have to ask Max because he's been going as long as me, and you have as well, Nick, right? longer even than me and Max, right? No other Chelsea manager in my mind that I can remember has ever lost 3 finals, Nick. Right? Let's get that. Let's get real. He's going to stick to that system, Nick. He can keep saying he needs to get his players, right? But as he sticks to that system, we're going nowhere. And if he can't motivate his players and he can't build them up, right, and develop their character as well. It's not just about having a skill. You have to develop the player and their character, right? He's destroyed Pulisic because Pulisic was not a waster under Lampard, right? He's destroying Ziyech. Why didn't we let Ziyech go on loan to Ajax, right? If that's the only way that we could get him out. You've got 2 players there who don't want to play for the manager, and they won't be the only 2, right? And we basically forced a pair of them to stay, right? But why not let them go and keep the youngsters?
And Stav, Mount is next. Mount is next because you can see it.
Yeah.
Mount is next. He's not going to play for them. Mount is already looking like he don't like Tuchel.
Yeah, because he's a midfielder, he's an attacking mid, and he's been asked to play inside forward, right, or play the loose man behind the strikers and stuff like that, right? I just can't, Nick. I can't be like Bobby, right, saying, "Oh, give him time. He's good this, he's good that," because I don't see any progression, right? The best games we play.
All right, man. Let me just say this. Before I know you've been waiting to come in. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree with a lot of points you're saying. I also agree with Bobby. We have to give it time. We have no choice right now. Look, Todd Bowley, wait a minute. Matt, stop, hold on. Look, Todd Bowley is doing everything possible, like we keep saying.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about.
If it comes down to Todd Bowley, he's the owner. Look, he will give Tuchel the time he thinks he's right.
Todd Bowley's a great coach, and he's not going to back him.
Right, he's going to go. It's no good.
He's not going to.
It's no good for us fans. Wait a minute, stuff. It's no good for us fans now to keep, getting all that Tuchel out. Some, not many. Not many. Most which don't want to.
Did I use the word out? Did I use the word out?
No, you didn't say that. I'm not saying you. I said
some fans are saying.
Let me talk. Hold on. Yeah, hold on, Stop. Yeah, hold on a second. I just want to look. Yeah, most fans, don't want to go out. Like, we want to give him the time to see what he does with the new players and everything, and to get the right system going. If Bowley is trusting him, we have to trust him for now. We're going to get a director of football in. Bowley is, you can't expect everything will happen overnight, not even with Tuchel. This is his, he's going to have to blend these players in. I agree with you on a lot of points. I also agree with Bobby a lot of points. It's too early to judge Tuchel. We're 5 games in. Wait and see what happens. Because it could go great, it could go different. We don't know. He's the manager right now, and he knows the players more than we do. So we have to give him the time. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Let's go to certified speed.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, certified. Then I'll talk after.
Yeah.
Let certified go. Then I'll talk after.
Yeah. Let certified go. Then you come in. Go certified.
I was listening to everyone. I haven't really talked in a while. And yes, I agree with what Max, Stav, Dext, Magnificent Ade said. And let me tell you something. Max, Stav, and Ade, they're not young, are they? So I don't know why Bobby has to bring up young, because other people see it as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm questioning him on that. And I think what we're doing is just being a realist. Really, we're being realist. Like, we're just being real. We just want the best for our club, because at this moment in time, deep in my head, I say we can get top 4, but deep down in my heart, I say we're not finishing top four because I'm looking at the way everyone's playing. And we have to. I do not care what anyone says because if you if we want us to be the best, we need to come. If we want to be the best, we need to look at other teams and see what we really don't have, like Liverpool and City. With Liverpool, you can say they're not doing well now, but let me tell you something. The reason why they've been so good is also because they've been trusting in that youngsters. Look how they have built Trent. Look how they're now building Elliot. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it goes to Stav's point. Like, these youngsters need to feel that type of freedom. Do you get what I'm saying? No one, and the thing is this, the reason why I don't know if I can get used to this, let's give it time, let's give it time, let's give it time, it's because players are not looking happy. Do you get what I'm saying? And if they're not looking happy, and knowing Tuchel's character, the way he treated Gilmour on those things was actually true. I remember I seen it saying, "Oh, coming back from relegation, this and that." But Rafinha, this guy almost got you're gonna say he almost got these relegated, but now look what he's playing in Barcelona. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I understand he's a first team player, but that's stupid from Tuchel. Tuchel, sometimes his ball knowledge is a bit weird. His logic is a bit weird when he's speaking about certain players. Like, you can't be saying, even in the Leeds game, he was saying, of course, when players run around the pitch more than you do, it's going to look like they have more fight. Do you get what I'm saying? That's another example for stuff where Tuchel has his weird his weird comments. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not that even teams that run around in the pitch can still lose like we do. We can press players that run and then what's it called? We press as well. But do we win? Do we play well good football? We don't. So it's stupid. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and we're not saying Tuchel out. That's the problem. The problem is that we'll wait, but don't expect every Chelsea fan to be on this thing that, oh my goodness, Tuchel's gonna magically change it. We'll be competing with City in April. We're not. And or we'll finish it's guaranteed spot that will finish top four. It's not guaranteed at the moment. Because Man United look better than us. Do you get what I'm saying? Chelsea won't score 3 goals a game against a Big Six team when we win. It will be 1-0. And from a corner, we don't the football is just not good. And it's simple as that. We can give him time, but do not expect the best. Yes, that's the thing. We're all saying. That's what we're all saying. It's not this thing, oh, the young generation, this and that. Do you get what I'm saying? No, it's not the young generation, bro. People know this. We're just being realist. So I don't know why he's bringing up the young people are doing this and that. Oh, we don't want to give people time, this and that. No, it's just facts, bro. Do you think the young players at Chelsea look comfortable? No, they don't. Why do you think we played great football under Lampard? Lampard, he gave these players, he understood these players. Even him as a top player, he was the best midfielder, but he understood that young players, they're gonna make mistakes, and you have to put this motivation in them, give them this trust, bro. Like literally, if Tuchel came in with the same mentality as Lampard but better, and we played great football, imagine where Chelsea would be last season. Chelsea would probably have won the league. Do you get what I'm saying? Because Gilmour was already brought up good. You can see that in Liverpool. Imagine if he was a starter until now and he had the freedom. We would have been talking. Do you get what I'm saying? So I look back to these days. I understand Lampard didn't play good football, but that's why he got sacked. But then it was really because Lampard just had to deal with too many players coming in, and it was his first season where he really got that backing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like literally, it's not. That's the problem. It's just that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Tuchel, I'll give him time, but don't expect a good season from Chelsea this season if we carry on like this. I'm just saying. because this football is just not good enough, and the football is so insecure. Tuchel's insecure, in my opinion. He just looks so insecure, bro. Like he wants his players to do a certain way. He doesn't want to take risks. All he wants to do is protect that defense. That's all it is. That's really what it is. This football showcases the defense only. If we want good football, players need to showcase their talent as well. But at the moment, it's only showcasing the wing backs. That's it. Like everyone realizes, like no one even, and watch by December, I wouldn't be surprised if if we eventually get Tuchel out, because these players will crumble if they're not getting credited from the system. Like it's getting annoying. Like really, these players they just don't get to showcase their talent a lot. The only talent they're showcasing is passing 2 inches. That's all. That's all. That's literally it. And this can't go on for long, because if players don't get to showcase their talent, and then mentally it's gonna get them angry. And I'm already seeing it with Mason Mount at the moment. And it could get worse and worse and worse. Do you get what I'm saying with Mount? That it will get worse and worse and worse with Mount. Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying as time goes past? Mount is not a bad player,
it's not
but
about. Jennifer, let me just come in a minute. Yeah, Mason Mount is a great player. Don't
that's
get me
the
wrong.
thing. He's
But
class.
he's off form. So is Havertz. All right, he scored a goal yesterday,
Even
but
Havertz.
we can't say how he scored one. He's going to get great again. Let's hope he does. But you play off form, you can't keep playing them. And you see what happened yesterday. He dropped them. They came on and they were better.
Because
That's
he
what's going to
realized
happen.
that there was competition. There's competition there. That's why they came on and they were better. Because also Tuchel, we're in his starting 11. When players don't play well, the senior players don't play bad. He really he gives them this thing as if, oh, the players in there are worse. The players on the bench are worse. Don't worry, you keep this spot. That's what it's almost like. Like even when he has the youngsters on the bench, don't worry, they're worse. They won't even do. That's the thing. That's why they feel like there's no competition, because they know the players on the. That's why Mount and Havertz know that on the bench, I know they won't get replaced. Since they got dropped, they know, yes, now I need to start moving. Havertz moving was excellent when he came on. I don't know why he wasn't doing it when he was starting. Do you get what I'm saying? Like honestly. But yeah, that's what I have to say. I just think that the players just need to have more freedom and confidence and the Tuchel needs to really give him this confidence, because what he's done to Bill Gilmour, as I think has killed majority of the players, the young players. Like I've never seen such a bad treatment from such a young player, and it's shocking. Do you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
anyways.
certified. I know what
But
you're
we're
saying.
not saying the problem is, I'm not saying I want Tuchel out. I'm not
No.
saying I won't give him time. But the problem is, we're always just saying is that it's not looking good and we'll give him time. But if this carries on, we are not going to go anywhere.
Mm.
And you need to accept it. And you need to get your feelings out of this, because you need to be real. Speak with your heart. And that's what I'm doing. I speak with my heart. I know what's good for the team, and I do not care. You can say you're the young generation all you want, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I have
Okay.
to say.
Let me just read a few comments and we go to Max. Yeah, Tattoo is saying, why give Tuchel time when he keeps on selling the young talents in the team? So stubborn, a manager. Yeah, we know he's stubborn. Tattoo, I'm saying your name right. He's very stubborn. That's what he has. We can't change him from being stubborn. But all I'm saying, we will judge him end of the season. It's only 5 games in. Let's see what he does. I understand certified staff what they're saying. I agree with a lot of points and Max, but I also agree with Bobby, because it's a new era. It's a new owner. Tuchel just got the players he wanted, so we have to see We have to wait and see what he does with all these players. Then we can, judge him. But it's too early to judge now. That's what I have to say. Go, Max, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, hi. Yeah. As I was saying before, yeah, Certified made some good points. Stav did, yeah. Yeah. As I mentioned before, okay, yes, this is a new era. This is the time. But saying that, and I don't want this to be a Tuchel bashing thing, because it really isn't, but saying that we need to give him time. He's been there 18 months. Okay, granted, he hasn't had his own players, but what I'd like to see is what what sort of identity we have as our style of play. If Before I go on, does anyone know what our identity is? If someone says to you, "What is Chelsea's identity? What are they trying to do, especially from an attacking perspective?" Can someone tell me what that is?
We don't have
What's our whole plan? What's our whole plan?
we don't have an identity right now. That's the thing. We're trying to
Yeah,
get one.
but he's had a few months to. I know not with the players he's got, but he has this, and it is. If I looked at what our identity, it's going to be probably creativity from the wing backs, and that's it, but when it all falls apart when the wing backs don't work. And the thing is with Tuchel's football is if one part, we haven't got that inventiveness, we haven't got players who've got that freedom to take people on. So if one part of it breaks, that's it. Everything falls down after that, because he just relies on like a system. And when we have systems, like if you look at the players, do get a bit bored of it after a while, because you saw it on the patterns of play that they used to do under Tuchel. They got fed up of it after a while. Same with Sarri and everything else. So there needs to be some inventiveness in the training sessions. And if you look at that Klopp and Pep, you can see that their guys buy into what they want to do and they enjoy playing in that system. And what I also want to say as well, because we could see the progression made under Arteta. So Arteta's come in and he's made some difficult decisions. He's made some, he's got rid of some big players. Like Aubameyang was a big player in that team, but he's taken hard decisions because he wants to work with the younger players within the squad. And it's early days. Yeah, obviously they lost today, but you can see the style of football is good. I'm not saying they are guaranteed for top four, but you can see the style of football that they're playing, and it's attractive to watch. It's a good watch. I've watched Arsenal about 3 times this season, and they are a good team. And Potter, I mentioned Potter before, but you can see he's building a side. He's lost a few players. He's lost some big players. Cucurella's left his side. But Basuma's lost, so he's had to go through another transition. But yet, these players, because he's already got a system of play that the players know what it is. It doesn't matter who the personnel is; they can come in and fit seamlessly into the side. Tuchel needs to make the difficult decisions. Okay, if he wants to play a style, with like a back, if he wants to transition to a back four, we know what he needs to do. Jorginho needs to be phased out. Some of these other older players, they just need to be phased out. Yesterday he should have played Billy Gilmour, not Billy. What's his name? Broja. Broja should have played yesterday rather than fitting in Pulisic into that position. Broja should have played. As soon as Broja came on, it was a focal point. We started to look like somebody. We were crossing the ball to nobody yesterday because Pulisic didn't want to go into the box. Sterling's not the biggest of players. All of a sudden, Reece James is somebody to aim at. And he started to move the West Ham defence around a bit and show a bit of muscle and bully them around a bit, because that's what you need to do. You need to have faith in these younger players. You need to believe in them. When we went through our if you guys all know, the once when Vialli left after we had won a few trophies, we brought in Ranieri. And what Ranieri did, he made a few difficult decisions. He got rid of Frank Leboeuf to bring in John Terry, and the rest is history. So John Terry's our best youth product to ever come out. He could have been sold to Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure if a lot of people know that. He could have gone to Nottingham Forest, but Ranieri said, "No, I'm using this guy because I can see something in him." Had it been Tuchel or somebody, or any of these CV managers who just want a quick fix, they might have sold. Terry would have probably been sold. He'd have probably be deemed not good enough. Frank Lampard, he recognised as well because we got rid of Petit. Emmanuel Petit left, and Frank Lampard took his place. So that's what a transition is when you're getting out with the old and in with the new. So I want to see a bit more of that. Not only buying in players and bringing them in, but looking at what we've got in house as well, and seeing our best to utilise what we've got in house, because we have got some players who could have played in this side, fitted in this side. Like when we're struggling at the beginning of the season for a CDM, we had Ampadu on our books, but yet he played Gilmour out of position, and this guy was bereft of confidence because he played him out of position. So it's just things like that that I want to see going forward from Thomas Tuchel. I want to see things like that. I want the joy to be brought back into the football, because if I'm perfectly honest, the last time I enjoyed a game was when we beat Juventus 4-0. And obviously after that we got those injuries, and I know there's mitigating circumstances, and so I do have some sympathy for him. Obviously, we had the sanctions and things like that, and because of that, that would have affected the way that we played. So there is that to take into account. So that's why I'm willing to be patient, and I'm willing to give him this season. As others said, he's now got the players in. He's brought in players. It was his buys as well. It wasn't a director of football. It wasn't the scouts. It was him. So I think what Todd Bowley is saying to him is, look, you want these players. I've given you these players. Now make these players work. So I'm willing to wait on a few weeks to see whether it gels and to see whether we can play that brand of football. We showed glimpses of it against Tottenham Hotspur. What I saw against Tottenham was good. So I'm not going to say it's all bad this season, because Tottenham's game was a joy to watch. The way that we were passing the ball around quite quickly, but we need to do that on a consistent level. And I just want to see more of that. So as I said, I'm prepared to wait, but we need to see a move in the right direction for me to be fully convinced. And that's what I've got to say.
Yeah, Max, completely agree. That's why I keep saying we give him the chance to see what he does with all these players. Like you said, it's his players, no one else's. So that's why I'm willing to give him the chance to see where we finish, and and we'll see what happens. Like that's what I want to see. Against Tottenham, we were electric, fast passing. That's the Chelsea we all want to see. But we want to see it in every game. Yeah, Let's. Bobby's back now. I don't know if you were listening onto what we were saying, Bobby.
Yeah,
You was. What do you think? What everyone's been saying?
yeah. I caught hold of most of it. I think the tail end of what I'm getting is, look, it's quite clear that Tuchel needs time to do what he's got to do. There's no manager that comes to recreate a system that doesn't make some difficult, unpopular decisions. I remember when Guardiola got rid of Joe Hart and Yaya Toure, there was some raised eyebrows, and people thought that the world will never turn again if Man City didn't have those players. Jurgen Klopp came in and he languished for some time, played some terrible stuff before he eventually managed to put his players together. Everybody has a different story to tell. Now, I understand how people feel, gosh, this guy, he's only playing from the defense, he only uses the wing backs. But you see, every really, really good team is built from the defense upwards. And this is what I believe he's doing. We have lost our real attackers in two people that really let the club down, in Lukaku and Werner. Although Lukaku, the way he's playing at Inter, I think we might be lumbered with him next season, or is it the season after when his loan finishes? But he's having to rebuild that, and he will. We've only had 5 games. Yesterday is not a game with which you can totally judge this man. He outfoxed somebody that was trying to outfox him with the master of negative football, which is David Moyes. Negative, fouling, bullying football. That's all he does. Low block against Chelsea. And what this guy did was, no, we're not falling for that. We'll play around with you. You can sit in your box and we'll have a bore fest. When the second half came and they all decided, look, we need to do something, then we started seeing some football, and then he made some changes. But the team is still in rebuild mode, and as far as I'm concerned, is still in pre-season. We won't really see this team until November. Trust me, we will not see this team until November. Aubameyang is only going to be coming back in about October. We still don't fully know what uh, um, Dennis Zakaria is going to give the team. We hope he's going to be a proper CDM, but that's going to be left to be seen. And even if he is, he's going to need time to settle. Koulibaly clearly needs time to settle to the Premier League. The defensive line played for the first time together against West Ham. And what people forget, and I find really interesting, is the midfield does need rebuilding. It does need revamping, because every time Chelsea has really performed well, N'Golo Kante has been there. When we performed against Spurs, N'Golo Kante was in charge of the midfield, covering up for our dear friend Jorginho. We can't keep doing that. It's not sustainable. So we've got to find the next N'Golo Kante or the equivalent. And we also have to find a creative midfielder. That's why it looks as if everything he's doing is coming from the wing backs. Because at the moment, we don't have the midfield to do that. And we're just beginning to get the attack to do that. I think, and I continue to say this, Chelsea fans, when Roman used to hire and fire, they were complaining, oh, he keeps getting rid of managers. He doesn't give them the opportunity. Okay, now we've got a manager that all we need to do is just persevere. He's got the players he wants, just like we've said. Now we've got to let him do what he needs to do. It's going to be a bit painful. It's not going to be comfortable because they're not yet ready. It's going to, I mean, if you look at, I'm going back to the defense again. If you look at Koulibaly, when he's not really a left back, he's not really a left centre back, and some of his misplaced passes told that story. Now he's going to have to mimic that, just like Rudiger did, and I'm sure he'll get it sooner rather than later, because so far as Thiago Silva's on the pitch, Thiago is going to occupy that centre. It's only when Thiago's not on the pitch, which I suspect he's going to do against Dinamo, he's going to put Koulibaly in the centre, even Chalobah, who's not really used to playing on at the centre back left, is going to go there, which he did with him against Leicester. And people keep talking about, oh, the team looks unhappy. There's no fighting spirit. Well, they showed enough fighting spirit when they went down to 10 men against Leicester. It's coming. It's all coming. I know this guy is going to get it together, but he has to have that time. It's very difficult to make things suddenly spark like that. And even then, we know we still have to do some buying in January for that midfield. Look, I don't despair. I think Tuchel knows what he's doing. Thomas Tuchel remains one of the world elite managers. We see what happens whenever we bin our managers, our elite managers, and they go to other clubs and start cooking. We've got to give this guy the chance. You know, I look at what people like. Remember, Kovacic still isn't fully fit, you know, and I look at what he's doing. You know, people talk of, oh, he doesn't trust the youngsters. My goodness me, Chelsea, people forget, especially last season, did not play a game without at least 2 academy graduates on the field. Most of the time, 4. We have 5. He's persisting with Gallagher. Okay, he played him in the wrong position. But football nowadays is all about flexibility. I heard someone talking about Man United's attack. Man United's attack hasn't really changed. If anything, they've added to it. They were always very quick on the break. That's how they play. They were always with your Rashfords and recently Ronaldos and people like that. Of course, they're going to look better. We've suddenly just got, basically, all we have is Raheem Sterling and a young Brozier who's learning his trade. That's another one that's going to come in. I mean, he's not using youngsters. He persists with Mount when Mount is off form, and people start complaining about that. We've got Reece James that he plays to death. You know, it's okay. You know, what happened with Billy Gilmour wasn't great, but these things are going to happen. Not all our youngsters are going to come through. People look at Lampard as if he was a saint, but people forget that Lampard, well, perhaps he was a saint when he started. He had no choice but to use the youngsters because we were in a transfer ban. And when he eventually got his players, it was Lampard that refused to use Tomori. It was Lampard that started off putting Tammy Abraham in the bench because he wouldn't sign his new contract. He started all that, not Tuchel. By the time he came, the damage was done. Tuchel tried to embrace these guys, but their mind was already set on leaving the club. We forget also that some of these youngsters, I know for a fact, because I was talking to someone from the academy, I know for a fact that Tomori in particular got to a point where he said that he actually wanted to leave. He had been at Chelsea since he was 6 years old. He has every love and respect for the club, but he wanted another adventure, and he wanted to go outside the country. He really did. Funny enough, same as Callum Hudson-Odoi. Callum loves the club, but he has always wanted to go and play in Germany. He's got his opportunity now, and maybe when he satisfies that, he'll come back. You know, it's not every player that wants to play at Chelsea all their lives. A lot do, but some don't. Tariq Lamptey, when he found that he couldn't displace Reece James, he thought, okay, let me leave. It's going to happen. Look at the kid on the left flank that went to Southampton. Another one. Some will stay, many will go. Not all of them will make the grade. And I think Chelsea, for a top flight team at their level, plays far more youngsters than any of them. Look at Barcelona. They're trying to buy their players. They've got their Mastaya, or is it Maestaya, their academy. They don't even look at those guys. There's only one of them that's come through. So, you know, we've got to give ourselves a chance and give ourselves a break. And I know a lot of us are saying that, and I know a lot of us are sort of criticizing as we see it, which is fair enough. There's some good points being made, but I would rather give this geezer time, tolerate some of the errors, some of the painful parts of the journey. And my vision is from November. I want to see where we are from then. And I'm just praying we can do well in the Champions League and keep picking up points. If we keep picking up points in the Premier League while we're doing this, by the time we're ready, we're sailing.
Nick, your mic is on mute again.
Thanks for keep telling me. Sorry if you read me. Yeah, great points, Bobby. I do agree with a lot of what you said, nearly everything. And, I agree with certifying a lot of things, what everyone said, really. It's a mixture right now because we all want to see Chelsea be the old Chelsea. I know, I understand. So do I. I'm very fanatical. But, we have played well against Leicester with 10 men. Great performance for me. Against Tottenham again, another great performance. Yesterday, second half, we were good. We came good at the end when we had to. We came back. We didn't lose the game like we usually do when we go 1-0 down. We went 1-0 down. We came back and won. That was so important. And so it's not all doom. It's very early days, very early. 5 games in, and you see everyone's dropping points right now. Man City, Arsenal, they've dropped their first points. Liverpool, another draw. Everyone's dropping points here and there. So, it's not that bad. We just have to get better, get the right system,
Sorry,
and get.
Nick, sorry to disrupt. Can
Yeah,
I
go
just
on.
make one point, one
Yeah,
final point about Arsenal?
yeah,
2 games in, everybody was saying, "Oh, Chelsea should have gone for what's their Arsenal number 9? What's his name again?
Jesus.
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 Jesus. Oh, they got Sterling. That's the wrong one of the two. Now, after today's game, they're all criticizing him. Jesus, he doesn't come into the 6-yard box. He plays outside like a winger. He's not going to
yeah,
get enough goals. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Reactionary.
He's a
You
good
know?
player. I mean, I wanted Jesus, then Sterling. Yeah, if you remember, I was saying, no, not Sterling, not Sterling. But Raheem Sterling's proved me so wrong.
Yeah.
He's a great player, and I love watching him. I never thought I would be saying this about Sterling, but he's proved me wrong. He's our best attacker right now, and he runs a lot, puts 100% in, and I'm very proud to have him at Chelsea. Really, yeah. Let me just read this comment and see what everyone's take is on this. Conor Gallagher, this is from Failed Experiment. Conor Gallagher is not Chelsea level, should have loaned him out or sold him to Palace. Also, Aspie contract extension was a mistake, has a liability. So is our set piece defending. So is our set piece defending and Mendy. Yeah, I agree with a few points there. But Conor Gallagher is young. He needs time. For me, he's trying hard. He runs a lot on that pitch. I think in time he will become the right player. And he's been played at the wrong position. For me, now he has to stay at Chelsea. I don't know what everyone else thinks about this comment. Let's start with you, Stuff. Stuff, what do you think about the comment? Stuff? Um, can you hear me, people?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, all right. I don't know what happened to Stuff.
Can I say something about the comment?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, certified. Yeah.
Um, I disagree a lot. Conor Gallagher's just young, man. He needs some time, as you said, Nick. Like honestly, is his first season at a really big team, and I think as he gets used to playing, he will develop. He will get better, in my opinion. I still think we should give him time, in my opinion. I don't think
Yeah.
we should sell him or loan him out, because then that's just going to kill his confidence. He's not going to want to come back. I can't lie to you.
I'm glad we didn't loan him out. Really am. He will prove people wrong. He's only, like you said, he just started. With us, first team level. So yeah. I mean, anyone else wants to comment on Conor Gallagher? Go ahead.
Can I say something about?
Yeah, of course, Lex. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like, I have had my doubts about Gallagher being at Chelsea. I think like the way that Chelsea play and the way that Tuchel wants to sell with that midfield, I think that I wouldn't say that Gallagher it doesn't suit him. I just think it kind of like it's not really his game because Gallagher's more of a he's more of an energetic, pressing, winning the ball back sort of midfielder. That's why he was like so good at Palace under Vieira because Vieira, the way he plays at Palace is very he's very possession based, attacking minded, pressing sort of side. And Gallagher was like obviously that suits his game perfectly. With Tuchel is more possession based, keeping the ball and working the way up the pitch slowly. And I think that nullifies a lot of Gallagher's qualities on the ball, especially. But some players can adapt to different styles, and they're given the time and the development. So I think he's a bit harsh on Gallagher saying he's not at Chelsea level. Obviously, he's good enough to play in the Prem, obviously. So can't see why he can't be good at Chelsea. But it's just one of those things. Like I think Gallagher would have been better at Crystal Palace. But Tuchel wanted
No,
him.
Gallagher was offensive yesterday. It's the low block that made him not look good. In Crystal Palace, he wasn't coming up against teams that will low block him like that with all these big 6 foot whatever players. That's what happened yesterday. He wasn't playing six. He was the top guard of the midfield, but the low block just made it look bad.
Yeah,
Mm.
I understand that, Bob. But then you look at the Leeds game, though. Like in the Leeds game, there was a lot of times where Gallagher felt a bit uncomfortable in that role as well on the ball when he was receiving it. Hence why he made that mistake, and all that. And even like when he got the red cards for that game, I can't remember what game it was. Do you know what I mean? There's just I'm not saying he can't play in that position. I'm just saying like there's a lot of times he just feels a bit uncomfortable in that position at times, and he sometimes makes the odd mistake or misplaces the passing because like he nullifies a lot of his qualities. When I saw him at Palace, like I wanted Gallagher to come to Liverpool because I think if Gallagher came to Liverpool under Klopp, he would be absolutely unreal for us. He would. I think he'd work so well under Klopp's system and how we want to play. High pressing, high attacking, high tempo midfield. Do you know what I mean? But we don't want him. I don't know why. Maybe we might be looking in the future, but I'm not saying, Bobby. I'm not saying that Gallagher's like not good enough to be in that position. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, like I said, he just needs a bit of time. But I just think that at certain times when he has been playing that midfield, he has looked a bit uncomfortable at times. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm not.
Mm.
I'm just saying like
Yeah.
I agree with Dex actually because
Yeah, Dexter.
certain
Yeah.
players
Just,
certain players suit certain systems. Even one of my brothers, he's a Liverpool supporter, and he said he'll love him at Liverpool because if you look at Liverpool's midfield, he'll be perfect to take over from sort of like a Jordan Henderson or something like that. Because Klopp will get him playing a high pressing midfield role. Our style of football, I don't think suits Conor Gallagher, and that's why he doesn't look good in our team. Not to say he's not a bad player, but it's just that he's not suited for our style. If I look at Havertz, I think if you look at the way that Arsenal play Odegaard, if we played Hazard in that position, I think we'll be getting a lot more out of Havertz and playing him up as a
yeah.
false nine as
mm,
well. So it's
yeah,
just about looking at the players that you've got and trying to
Yeah.
work out a system that suits the players best as well. Or if you want to work to a system that you've got, get players in who can play to that system that you're playing
yeah,
in. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Because as Stava said before, Ziyech he's a good player. If he goes to had he gone to United, you'll see, you know, what Anthony was doing today on the ball. And I'm not saying he's Anthony level, but he'll get Ten Hag will get more out of him because he's worked with him before. He knows how to get the best out of him. We don't know how to get the best out of Ziyech, and that's why he doesn't look great in our team.
mm,
Had he gone to Tottenham as well, I think because Tottenham were after him, probably what's his name, Conte would have got more out of him as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. But yeah, that's all I've got to say, Nick, on my
Yeah,
part.
I mean, we have to give him time. And it took, because he's so stubborn. Nearly every player's playing not in their position, the right position. He has to look at that for me. Put them in the right position where they'd be happy, and let's see what happens. But it's early days, like Bobby said. We have to give it time. Things will come good even for Conor Gallagher. I see a good player in him, which what I've seen of him in the 2 games, the last 2 games, he ain't that bad. He's young.
Connor's going to be all right.
Yeah, of course he is.
I don't buy any of that.
Full faith with him, and I predicted he will take Mason Mount one day. He's playing in a hard position. He needs to be where Mason Mount is, somewhere.
Can I ask, a quick question to everyone.
Yeah, of course.
What have you what have you guys rated of the club's transfer business in the summer? What would you like? What's your own thoughts and opinions? Do you think they've done enough, or do you think that they could have strengthened a bit more? Like, what's your overall opinion on it?
For me,
I'll give it. Go on then. You go first.
yeah, sorry, but for me, I think Todd Bowley done whatever he could. We brought in 11 players, and we're still looking at other players for January. So this guy, he's here. He wants to win, like Roman did. He wants to win, and the group, him and his group are paying crazy money for Thomas Tuchel to get this team working, which I have full faith it will work in the end. I keep saying this, but we're going to see.
Can I answer Dex's question?
Yeah,
I'll go next. No, I was next.
Yeah, go on, man. Yeah,
I'll give it an 8. I'll give it 8 out of 10. The reason being is we started later than everyone else because of the fact that we were under this sanction, so we were playing catch up. So I know some people said, "Why didn't we get in Chouameni or that player or that player?" We couldn't. We couldn't get these players in because like for instance, Haaland. I think if we weren't under the sanctions and the new owners had come in a bit earlier, we may have seen Haaland at Chelsea because we did a lot of the groundwork the season before. But obviously, because of the sanctions and things, Man City came in and stole the march on us. But what I liked is that we did get in some good players, people like Sterling, Cucurella. We may have overpaid a bit for some, but I suppose as the transfer window went on, then we had to. And Leicester always a tough negotiator, so we got in Fofana. So we got in some of our targets. Where I wasn't quite happy is that we didn't address the defensive midfield area until very late in the window. Had we got in Alvarez earlier on, he's a guy who could have suited our needs perfectly. And what that probably would have done, also, it would have stopped Ajax from selling Anthony to Manchester United, because if we've got big money for Chelsea for Alvarez, then they wouldn't have had to sell him. So that could have been that would have been good for us. Also, what's the other thing I was going to say? What I did like as well was the fact that we got rid of a lot of our players, which was good. Because that's the issue with us. We kept keeping deadwood players in the squad who weren't going to do nothing. So we just said, terminate. And just on that point, actually, congratulations to Ross Barkley. He's just moved to Nice. So he's found himself a new club at Nice. If we didn't buy out his contract, he may have stayed on loan for another season, picking up big wages. So we've cleared a lot of people off our wage bill. People like Werner, Lukaku's on loan, but that's 325,000 a week off our wage bill. We've got rid of the likes of Danny Drinkwater at long last, hallelujah. And who else? So Kennedy has now gone on a permanent. He's been on loan to about 60 clubs, as has Matt Miazga. So we've got rid of a lot of players. So that's got to be applauded, because I like that ruthless approach by Bowley. As you know what, we're not going to be loaning up you. And I think the loan rules are going to be changing soon anyway, where you can't loan out you can loan out X amount of players. So we needed to get some of these off. Batshuayi's gone as well. Didn't he go somewhere in Turkey? So yeah, so these guys have gone. So that's good. And what I also like is that he brought in the future, buying for the future as well. So the Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa, the guy Casadei, I think his name is, from
from
Inter. Yeah, so we're and there's the goalkeeper Slonini. We're getting in these players, so we are ready for a couple of seasons time. So we don't have to spend big. You spent big this window. I don't see us spending big the next window. What he's going to do, because Todd Bowley, apparently this is what he does in American sport, is that he tries to get the big Galactica type players in. So what I'll see is him, because we've spent big on a lot of positions this season. I think phase 2 for next season is to probably get in a couple of players, maybe a quality DM and maybe another high quality striker. So that's what he's probably going to look for next season. And yeah, so all in all, for what we have to deal with everything, and he's a new director. We're going to get a director of football in as well. He's had to do it all. The director of football role. I think he's done a tremendous job. For everything. So definitely 8 out of 10. It would have been 9 if we got a hold of him. I know Zachariah's coming, but at the end of the window, let's see how he does. He's somebody who everyone wanted a few months ago. Then he got that injury. He's not. I don't think he's injury prone. He just had one bad injury. All the other injuries have been niggle injuries. The fact that he hasn't done it at Juventus doesn't say anything to me. Because I look at is it Bentancur at Tottenham? How he wasn't getting the game time at Juventus. Now he's a sensation at Tottenham. So if this boy can be like that, come into Chelsea and fit into that number 6 role for us and do a good job, then yeah, I may even give it a 9, but time will tell. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job, Bowley, so far. He's keeping his word. We can't expect anything else. We're building for the future and we're building for now. So let's see what happens. It's up to Tuchel, like we keep saying, to get the team right now.
And sorry, 2 other things that I forgot to mention: new contracts to Broha, and obviously James is going to be signing a new contract soon. So yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, new contract for.
He's got to be applauded for. Yeah.
Kanté is staying. Looks like Jorginho is the one going. Yeah, and we'll have. I think it will come good for us eventually. I have full faith with the Bowley and Tuchel. Just we have to give him time. Like Bobby keeps saying, time is the essence. Yeah. Let's just read this comment before we go to certify. Someone else was just coming in with this comment. Yeah, Esa Manos saying never wanted Lampard, and I agree. Tomori and agree about Tomori, but James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Mount were established. As was
Can I respond?
Yeah, 1 second. As was Christensen, can't claim that Tuchel is given it a go. Yeah, he's more or less saying what the stuff he's been saying. Tuchel's not giving the youngsters a go. There's 2 ways about this, I think. In a way, we can't say he's not giving them a go because, he left, with a Billy Gilmour situation at Lampedusa. Last season, he did try youngsters. He tried them. He tried Hudson Odoi. He tried a few of them, really.
Yeah.
But, we don't know what's going on. We don't see the players in training every day like he does. He must know something we don't know. But, what's your take on that?
I was going to respond to that.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, you said partly what I was going to say. First of all, I'll take Lampard. He said he didn't want Lampard. You know, I think that's a bit ungrateful because Lampard took the job when nobody else would, when we were going into a transfer ban, and Sarri made up some story and ran away because he knew that, in my opinion. As
Yeah,
far as these players being established, I think that's disingenuous. He played Callum Hudson-Odoi quite a bit last season. He brought Chalobah through, and this season he's showing so much faith with Gallagher, even upon criticism and people saying, "Oh, he's going to play better in other clubs" and things like that. He's going to continue with Gallagher, and you see Gallagher is going to come good.
yeah,
You know, talking about people like Ruben, people were trying to bin him. He
mm,
brought out the qualities of Ruben in his versatility. And yes, he hasn't played in offensive midfield, but Ruben doesn't need to play in offensive midfield. The fact that he is the utility player in the squad now has given him value to the squad. He played the full 90 against West Ham. People criticized him, but I thought he was quite good. The only thing perhaps Ruben needs to learn a bit better is speed of pass. But that low block that West Ham was playing stifled everything. And the best way to play them was the way we played them. If we came out sparking like they wanted us to, they would have probably did to us what they did to us last season. You know, Reece James. You know, if people say they're established, there's that, and yet at the same time they're saying that Tuchel doesn't give them a chance and he likes all these old established players. Well, he never got rid of them. He continued with them in their established positions, whether they were on form or not. I think it's a bit unfair. You know, this guy plays our youngsters. No other top club plays youngsters as much as we do, even Man United. So, you know, you've got to. This is a brutal sport in terms of demand for success, and you know he needs to mix experience and youth and get the right blend. I think he will. I really think he will. It's just that we're such at the beginning stage of this new rebuild, new forward line, new midfield, which is where I think the next lot of investment will go into, as well as another forward or sort of winger. And the defense is relatively new. So time will tell. And as I keep saying, I will look at this team in November and take stock then.
yeah. Quite agree. Yes, Bobby, I agree with you. I mean, yes. Sonify, you wanted to say something about the last comment?
Yeah, Dex, I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. I think,
Yeah,
as Max says, I think we did our transfer business late, but I think what we've managed to recruit was good. I can't really lie. You can see what Tuchel wants to do at the moment, but then yeah, and then I wanna respond to Bobby's point. Yeah, I think we should get behind Tuchel and that. I'm not gonna add any buts, but yeah, I think we should be doing that more, and we shouldn't be saying Tuchel out and all of this crap and everything. And yeah, that's what I need to say.
yeah. Let's go
Can
back
I
to,
just say something as well, really quickly? Sorry, I
yeah,
forgot
go
to
on, Max, and I'll go to start.
Um,
Yeah.
what I'm glad about as well is that we've got rid of McLaughlin. We've finally got
Oh,
rid of that.
yes, yes.
He was a disaster. Why didn't we go for? I tell you, would have been perfect for us. And this is a guy who was recommended for us from Thiago Silva, and that's the guy who was playing for West Ham yesterday, Paqueta. Okay, the Brazilian boy. That boy, he's got a bit of everything in his game. Yesterday, he was fighting defensively for them, so he proves that he can do the hard donkey work. He's wasted at West Ham because West Ham play that terrorist football where he's not going to be allowed to display his qualities. That guy, if you can see his attacking ability on the ball, he can pick a pass. And I said he works hard. Boy, did he work hard yesterday. He would have been perfect for our midfield. You know, he could play. He's not a DM, but he can play in that DM role because he's quite good defensively, tactically aware, and as I said, he's definitely one who can give us that inventiveness that we need. and he's a big guy, and he's not afraid to put himself about a bit.
Yeah, I saw he's
So
a very good player, Max. Very
yeah,
good.
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw.
And as I said, he was actually recommended to the club by Silva. I'm not sure if anyone saw that Silva statement where he said
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
did.
asked the club to buy him. Yeah.
I saw a lot of Chelsea fans, posting him on Twitter, trying to, attract the club to him. And, it's a shame because he is that sort of creative player we're missing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, Bobby. Let's go to Stav. Stavo, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, what's your take on the overall signings and outgoings and everything?
Right. Well, I'm an 8 as well. I haven't said anything about Bowley, to be fair. Right. I'm okay with the signings. The what Tuchel wanted. So let's see what happens with them now. And with regards to what Bobby said, right, I didn't want Lampard either. Inexperienced, not experienced enough. When you're paying a manager 2 or 3, 4 million a year, somebody would have took the job, right? It was to appease the supporters that he was given the job. Sadie was a prat. He used Chelsea, right, as a stop-off point before he went to Juventus. I have no intention of staying more than one season, right? I would imagine the groundsmen were happy not having to pick up all his cigarette butts all the time.
Yeah,
but with regards to what was the word Bobby used? Ingenuous or something like that, some posh word, right? Regarding the youngsters, they were established, whether you like it or not. They're experienced players. They'd all been on 2 or 3 loans, except for Reece, who went on loan to Wigan and then came back. But the rest were established. Tammy Abraham, Swansea, Villa, right? Tamori, Hull, Brighton, Derby with Lampard, Mason, Vitesse, Derby, and they'd all had 1.5 seasons under Lampard as well. So they are established. It's not like bringing somebody like Phil Foden out and nurturing him and bringing him along, right, and developing him, right? That's not the same thing. Sorry, right? That's not nurturing. Right? It's not the same thing. It's a totally different situation, right? John Terry, he went on loan to Nottingham Forest, for 6 games. We were going to sell him. Ranieri said, no, I want to use him. Brought him in, and he used him, and he made, what was he, 18, 19, if that, right? But he basically was straight out of the academy and went on loan to Forest for a short time. That's the difference. It's different. It's not the same. I noticed in the comments earlier on, somebody said that Tuchel gave Kimpembe his start right at PSG. Kimpembe is 27. He's hitting his peak years, right? It's not the same thing. I'm sorry. It's not the same thing. I don't see the same thing, right? You're talking that includes Christensen, right? He was established. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right? Even Callum had been around for 2 or 3 years already, right? I just don't see that as the
Remember,
same.
he gave Harvey Vale and Charlie Webster a chance.
How many games did he give him, Bobby? How many games did he give him? He gave him 1/2 each, right, against Brentford in a cup game, right? And he gave Harvey Vale 1 game, I think, and he played Lewis Hall, left back, right, against somebody in a cup game. That's not nurturing him. That's not bringing him through. That's not developing him in the squad. Within the squad, they get game time. They sit on the bench. They go on as subs every so often. Right? That's not the same as Foden, is it? Or Alexander Arnold or whatever his name is, right? It's not the same thing, Bobby. Sorry, it's not the same thing. I want to see someone get plucked like John Terry was, brought in, training with the older guys, learning from them. Like Max said earlier on, he got rid of LeBuff. But JT trained with LeBuff first, right? And he learned off him, and he learned off Desai. That's the difference. That's the difference, right? 6 games on loan for Forest, and then he came back, and he was dragged into the first team squad. And when he was used, Dan Petrescu got a moody on because he come on as a sub for him, and he wouldn't even shake hands with him or anything as they were going off the pitch. And Dan
But the
Petrescu
youngsters these days, they're not prepared to do that. That's why,
you've got to tell them, right, that they've got a future. This is what I want to do with you, right? I believe in you. I believe you have the talent, right? If the youngsters weren't willing to do that, Callum Hudson-Odoi wouldn't have stayed as long as he did, would he? Right, there's one example. Right, I'm sorry, but it's not the same thing. Right, taking people who'd already been out on loan, 2 or 3 loans in the Championship, in Holland or wherever they've been, right, and then coming into Derby with Lampard, so he already knew them. He brought them in, right, and then he dumped on Tomori. That's why I have an issue with Lampard as well, right. But the difference is, you look at the experience levels of Tuchel and Lampard, right. So, and I just don't think Lampard was ready for such a big job, and I don't think he ever will be. Some people are destined to be pundits, others to be managers and coaches, right? And I don't think Lampard's got it in him, because he also has issues with players. He also scapegoats players. Right? And I don't see it as the same thing. Sorry, Bobby. That's just the way I see it, right? I get the fact that youngsters these days have a different mentality. Livramento, for example, right? Had he stayed, he probably would have been playing last season when Reece was injured, because he can play wing back as well. In fact, he did play wing back for the under 18s. So, but he also said he was going to bring Dion Sterling back in. He wanted him in the squad this year. Where is he? He's gone on loan to some nondescript.
He's gone to Stoke, hasn't he? Stoke City. Actually, the Dejan thing, I didn't understand that. I was looking forward to him playing. But...
Yeah, and then 2 seasons in a row, 2 summers in a row, he bigged up Ampadu and then just sent him out. Right? I'd rather have Ampadu, right, playing next to Kante or Kovacic, or even Ruben Loftus-Cheek, allowing Ruben Loftus-Cheek the ability to go on more on the attack. And Ampadu's got a far better range. He's more press resistant, right? He's tall, he's stronger, right, in comparison to Jorginho. But no, we sent the kid out on loan and he obviously didn't believe he had a chance of playing this season. And we go and play that clown Jorginho. What does he give to the team? I keep hearing people saying, oh, but he controls the tempo of the game. Don't need to control the tempo of a game against a low block defence, do you? Like West Ham's, who were sitting back, God knows how long, how deep, right, and in how many numbers. And you don't need to control the tempo. The tempo of the game, when you're playing a team like that, is to get the ball forward quickly, move it around quickly, pass and move, right? Use the width, drag defenders out, open up gaps, right? And the extra, if you're only playing 1 DM, the extra attacking player, right? And even Ruben Loftus-Cheek can go and exploit the spaces that are made by the wing backs or the wingers, depending on how you want to do it. That stretch of defence. You don't need someone like Jorginho getting the ball in the middle of the park, standing there trying to decide who he's going to pass to, go sideways or backwards. And then when he plays the ball forward, he either overhits it, right, and the player hasn't got a chance of getting onto it, or he gives it to one of them. And the same thing with Mendy. Mendy passed the ball out to him, right, against Leicester. And the Leicester player went to the Leicester player instead of Jorginho. Jorginho has no recovery rate, and they get in on goal and bang. What's all that about? The guy shouldn't be anywhere near Chelsea anymore. If you want to use him in the Champions League, yeah, fair enough. Maybe he's got a place for the Champions League. The guy should be in Italy, right? He should be in Italy. And I even saw on social media, on Facebook, oh, but he takes a good penalty. I'm not keeping him in the team because he takes a good penalty. What's all that about? It's a nonsense. And this is why I have doubts about Tuchel. He kept him, right? He could have got rid of him, kept Ampadu or Gilmour, right? But it's the same thing. He gave Ampadu one game in America, and then he sent him to that B game, right, against I forgot the name of the Italian Udinese, right? And he sent him to the B game. He didn't even play him in the first team. And Billy Gilmour, he takes him all the way over there, right? He thinks he's going to be given a chance to prove himself, right? And after 4 or 5 days, he sends him to the under-23s, who'd already been playing in England anyway. They'd played a couple of friendlies in England. And he dumped him after 4 or 5 days and sent him to the under-23s. Why on earth would Billy Gilmour want to stay? He knows from that he's got no chance. And then the statement he came out with, he was relegated and he was dropped from the team, and to come from that to being a Chelsea midfielder would have been too much. What's that about? The kid would have learned a lesson from that. This is what I'm talking about. I just don't have confidence, right, that he will do the right things. He's got his players. I didn't say anything about getting him out. He's got his players. Get on with it, right? But when I look at the players he's bought, with the exception of maybe Aubameyang, right, he's bought players to carry on in that system. He asked for 3 central defenders from the beginning of the transfer window, right, which meant to me he's looking to keep the same system. And teams are becoming wise to it, right? They've found ways to counter it, right? And I want him to adapt more. And I know you're a champion of the fact that you think he changes midstream, mid-game, all this kind of stuff. But if he did that and his game management was that good, right, we wouldn't have lost to places like West Ham when we were in the league twice. And there's other examples of that as well. And his in-game management isn't that good because he hasn't used his subs at the right times until this season when he got 5. If you've only got 3, you've got to use them the right subs and at the right time, right? And you use them to change your game. So you send someone on and change the system so that person you send on can develop the game and the attack as well. I don't have any confidence in him, right? It's 18 months. Forget the Champions League and all that stuff and the cups and all that. I'm looking at the league and I've seen no progression, right? And that squad was good enough to challenge if he used the squad correctly. But now, right, he's used it the way he wanted to use it. He's cheesed off some players. Like, what's the point of playing Pulisic? Why did we keep him, right? I don't want to hear all this stuff over because he makes a fortune in shirt sales. We get £10 per shirt. Like, once you sign that deal, you've got to sell so many million. I think it's 2 million shirts before you get any more money out of it, and then it's a tenner. Only Man United have got a better deal than that, right? So all the worldwide shirt sales go to Nike until, right? So you've got image rights. You can flog him in around America, selling his image and all that stuff. But he doesn't even bring that much in shirt sales, right? And why keep him? The guy wanted to go. The guy is unhappy, right? Whether it's his fault or whatever, why did we keep him? Then you're talking 3 weeks ago, and this is where I will take up umbrance with Bowley, right? 3 weeks ago, we were willing to let Ziyech go for 8.4 million, right, to AC Milan to try and entice Leao out of them, right? And then Ajax come in, and just because Ajax have sold Anthony, right, for 75.4 million plus add-ons, whatever it is, right, we've suddenly decided, well, hang on, we want our cut. That's the same as Seville last year with Koundé. We're playing the same silly game. You set a price for the player, right? You can't just suddenly go and change it 2 or 3 weeks later when he hasn't played, right, and he hasn't shown any form or anything like that, right? Just because it's Ajax and they've just made some money, right? Even if it meant letting him go on loan, just get him out the club, right? And I'm a big Ziyech fan, but you obviously don't want to. He obviously doesn't want to use him, and he doesn't want to adapt the system to suit those 2 players. So get rid of both of them. Let them have a career. The guy's, 28 going on 29, right? And he's entering the last phases of his career, and we're holding him there when Tuchel doesn't even want him. They told Ziyech, you're not in Tuchel's plans in the summer. So that's why Ziyech actively started looking for another club. They said to him, look for another club. Right? And then when the club comes in, we hold him there. This is I don't understand. Right? Tuchel could have just turned around and said, no, I don't want him under any circumstances. Right? But he's obviously turned round. Maybe he was expecting 7 or 8 top signings, right? And it didn't pan out that way. So now he's suddenly decided he wants to keep him. Pulisic, right, is it's Bowley who blocked it, right? But Ziyech, why are we holding him there? The guy is in the final parts of his career, right? And we just sitting him there on the bench, ruining him, right? Just let him go. What was the point? That's what I don't understand. And at the end of the day, they kept him because we've only got a 24-man squad. Right? Well, simple, innit? You could have added Ampadu to it, and you could have added Billy Gilmour by talking to them, convincing them that they do have a future. Right? Let Ziyech go, and there's your 25-man squad, and there's your homegrown quarter and everything. Right? And you've got 2 players in midfield who press resistant, right? And who've got good passing abilities. But no, we're playing these silly games. If you're not going to play a system that suits the guy, just let him go. What we're holding him for? And I'm a big fan. So, like Max said earlier on, if he'd have gone to Man U, he'd have been doing what Anthony does. And Max, believe me, right? Anthony is top player, but so is Ziyech, right? Played in the right position and in the right frame of mind. And he would have tried that on as well, what Anthony did today. And he would have arrived in that same spot because I watched him. I watched him for Ajax, right? I know what he's capable of. Everybody has this thing that, but it's just a Farms League, the Dutch league. Look at the players we've signed from Holland, right? Look at the players, right? That Man United have signed from Holland. The players that Arsenal have signed. Don't underestimate that league. It's a league that produced Davids, Van der Vaart, all these players, right? That's on top of the ones that came to England. It's not a farmers' league. These guys, right? Whatever we played Ajax and we drew 4-4. If it wasn't for that referee doing the double sending off, we would have lost that game and gone out of the Champions League, right? And he was primarily responsible for ripping us apart, right? So he's playing against Premiership players when he was doing it. And he went to Real Madrid and won 4-1 as well. Right? Just let him go. Why did we keep him?
Yeah, let's see.
It's leaving a festering, right? Atmosphere in the team.
Let's hope
right
with Ziyech is a great player for me. I want him to stay. I'm glad he's still here, even on the bench, because he will get game time. He will get his chance again, and and then let's see what happens with it. But I understand what you're saying. I don't understand Tuchel playing him in the wrong position. I don't like it because I rate Ziyech a lot. A lot.
Right, guys, I got to run now. So thanks
Max,
for having me on.
Thanks for coming, Max.
Yeah. Okay, then cheers, guys. And
We'll
enjoy the rest of the debate. Yeah.
Thanks for coming. I'll let you know when we're back. We'll probably be back for the preview for the Zagreb game Tuesday night.
We're playing. I'm only joking.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow.
Cheers. Yeah, tomorrow night. It's Tuesday, quarter to. The kickoff, isn't it? 5:45 kickoff. Yeah.
We might do another stream tomorrow. See what we
Yeah. Okay then, guys. Cheers. Take care then. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Hello, Max.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Let's go. Let's move on to Dex. He's been wanting to say something as well. Dex, go ahead then. Where we do the ratings for yesterday's game. Go ahead.
Well, it was a question to Max, but as he's gone now, I might as well just ask everybody. So obviously I said about Chelsea's done business, but obviously for a bit of a mix up, how would you rate Arsenal business so far? Well, from this summer, obviously I'll say what I think at the end when you guys all had your say.
Yeah, sorry, say that again.
I was just going to ask, what have you made of Liverpool? Us, our summer business. I was
Uh,
going to say.
yeah. For me, I think you done well with Nunes. I know he didn't come good against Everton, but that's against Everton. What I've seen of him, he's a great player. He will get goals. I like the way he plays. That for me, he's a great signing. And the other player you just got as well, he's a good player. I forgot his name now. Martel, what's his name?
Oh,
Arthur.
Arthur Melo.
Arthur.
No, Liverpool.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Arthur.
Arthur,
Yeah,
yeah. Arthur Melo,
yeah.
yeah.
I think you've done well. I think you've done well. The only thing bad what Liverpool done was getting rid of Mane. That was a big mistake for me. Getting rid of Mane. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah, no, I think it's a bit weird one for me because like the most of the Liverpool fan base, there's mixed opinions on about our summer window. Some people says it's been good, some people says it hasn't been that great. From my point of view, I think we've had a good window. I mean, like we need to get a midfielder in. We got Arthur in. Some people like the signing. Some people are not too sure about it because he hasn't played a lot of football. But it doesn't really matter because like I've seen bits of him, clips of him when he was at Juventus, especially Barcelona, when he was really good. So I think he will become good. It's a loan as well with an option to buy. So it's a good sign for us. I'm ashamed he didn't play in the derby yesterday because I feel like in the midfield we needed a bit more something direct, and I think he could have like came on and changed the game a bit, but I think it might have been too soon. But hopefully we'll see him. Hopefully he'll play against Napoli on Wednesday because obviously he knows what the Italian league is like. Well, Italian sides are like because he's obviously played in that league for ages. So, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
no, I think it's a great signing to be honest. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one went for him because he was linked with Arsenal before. But yeah, no, I think it's a great sign, and I agree with you on Nunes, Nick. Like, you know what I think about Nunes. Like, I'm a massive Nunes fan.
You
I,
said it before he came. And you said it. You said it before when we were mentioned with him as well. But he's a great player. You can see he's gonna be your new new striker, the guy who's gonna get all the goals.
yeah,
For me, he will take over Salah. He
Bro,
will.
can I just say something?
Yeah, go on, Certified.
Um, I get your. I like the midfielder Arthur, but with Nunes is a great player. But I still
Yeah,
think he needs a bit of time because um, if you look at that Everton game, I'm not going to base it off of one game, but if you look at it, I still don't think Salah's giving him the help. Do you get what I'm saying? So
mm,
you
yeah,
can say Nunes is not. You can say Nunes is not. How needs time, and he's not been that great as Liverpool expected him to like be like Haaland, but he's not going to be that yet. I
yeah,
think he will bang because I like Nunes because I still think he still needs a bit more help. Do you get what I'm saying? Attacking wise, when they're running, like I think the only person who's made him thrive was Luis Diaz.
yeah,
Salah, he needs to up his game a bit, in my opinion. Don't you not
yeah.
think?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, Salah's been a bit quiet for my liking, but I don't know what that's down to. I don't know if it's down to like him trying to create more in his position rather than trying to be scoring all the goals, or maybe it's a bit of confidence, or I don't know. It could be a mixture of things, but yeah, no, I think it's just a bit of both. I think it's confidence and him trying to create too much for like the likes of Nunes and Diaz and all that. Because
In
obviously,
my opinion, sorry, Dex. In my opinion, I think it's more that he has to create more. I think Salah's not that creator. I think he's more of a goal scorer. You get what I'm saying? He creates
yeah,
his own chances to score goals. That's just
yeah,
my opinion. But Salah doesn't. Salah. This is why people really call him selfish, and he's not. Like he's a team player at times, but there there are times if he plays for himself, like if you look at the big games that he played sometimes in the FA Cup final, if he tries to create for himself and the defenders find him out, like Rudiger, for example, that's when Salah looks like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Not like he's a crap player, but if he's up against the good defenders and he doesn't create and he's not used to that, you can see like there were times like when even especially the Chelsea games with Rudiger, like when Salah when Salah tries to create chances for himself to score, it doesn't work out. He sometimes tries creating, which he's not really used to doing a lot, and it doesn't work. Sometimes he will just put in a bad cross, or he will get you cross the ball and it hits a defender. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, it reminded me of Willian. I'm not saying he's the same level of Willian, but you know, Salah's a class player, but I still think he needs to work on his creating, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree, 100%. And just the last point I really want to say as well, Nick, with the Champions League game against Zagreb, I think you said a lot about like Tuchel dropping a few players and stuff. Do you know what? I think Brozier should be given a chance up front. Why not? Give the
Oh,
kid a shot in the Champions League. Give him a
yeah,
shot.
yeah. I
I mean,
think I hope Broja plays. I wanted him to start against West Ham. I predicted he would, but at least he came on and showed us. Every time he comes on, for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, he shows what he's about, and that's what we need. A proper number 9 who
yeah.
gets up there, heads the ball. We don't have that, and we have it in Broja.
He works hard as well. He
Yeah,
works
I'm
hard as
glad.
well.
I'm so glad we give him a long contract because he's our future number 9 for me. Aubameyang is going to come in, and they can still play together. Have Sterling on the left, Broja in the middle, and Aubameyang on the right. That could be some force for me. Yeah, six. Yes. Yeah. Should we get to the certified keep in and out? So,
Let me tell you something, yeah.
yeah.
I have a braid hanging down, and it keeps touching the flipping, um, foam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because I've plaited my hair. It's got like twists,
All
and it's
right.
long. So like
That's why.
yeah, so it keeps touching the foam.
I keep thinking, what's it a certified doing? Uh, anyway, yeah,
Nah,
that's.
it's not my Wi-Fi. It's my braid. Let me just put it back up.
I'll put you straight back in when I see you're out. So yeah, don't worry. Yeah, so should we any more thoughts on the game or anything else before we should do the ratings for yesterday's game?
I'm gonna
Anyone?
say, isn't it funny how the
Yeah.
FA haven't charged
Oh
Moyes
God.
or Declan
Yes,
Rice?
what about that? Good.
Mhm.
You mentioned that, Bobby. Yeah, God, you go
Yeah,
ahead.
man.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
I
You
don't
know,
understand.
because
Like, we need,
it's not Chelsea. It has to be Chelsea to get punished. They won't punish no one. That's the thing.
no,
Mm.
but even if it's not Chelsea, and if someone else came out and had a go at refs, they would still do something to fine him.
Uh,
Is you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they should have been punished. They should have get suspended for me. Terrible, terrible. And the other thing is,
Speaking
the,
about the FA, Nick,
yeah,
I wonder if David Moyes is going to get punished for what he said after
mm,
on the post match interview when he said about the referee's decision for that
mm,
VAR goal.
Exactly.
He said it was a scandalous decision and the referees had a shocker or something. He said,
Tuchel said something
yeah.
like that, and he got
If
in
he was
trouble.
good, he's suspended. He get a red card, but it's not Chelsea, so they won't do nothing. You watch.
"Yeah,
That's what's going to happen in the end. I
mm.
was really gutted at that. The other thing I was gutted at
Go
Bobby.
away, Luke.
Bobby, did you see new stuff? When Declan Rice, when West Ham scored the first goal, Declan Rice kicked that the corner flag flying. Then Emerson comes along, kicks it even more. What
Yeah, well, I saw that on Twitter, and
Yeah.
I just responded that these are players that couldn't make it at Chelsea,
Yeah,
so they're all salty.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
all there is to it. He hasn't made it at Chelsea.
Bobby, it shows my point about Declan Rice. He's a fraud. He's not a Chelsea boy. All right, he was a Chelsea boy, but he does. I don't see him like a Chelsea player. Never will. For me, he's not. He's not up for Chelsea. Yeah, he's good for West Ham. Yes, but after that kick on that flag on the corner flag, he showed how much he loves Chelsea. That's what.
I forgot Everton plays for West Ham now. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
Emerson, I don't complain because I think his frustration. He couldn't get in, in the team for 18 months. He hasn't played for us. But Declan Rice, the boy who wants to come to Chelsea and does that, that just proves the point. He's all for the money, not for the club. So,
Wait, who's going Chelsea Liverpool?
Sorry? Chelsea
Who's
Liverpool.
going,
It's
who's going
coming up.
Chelsea Liverpool?
Hopefully, I'm going. Hopefully, I'll be going. I'm not sure yet.
The tickets are sold out already.
They're sold out, but there is ways, hopefully.
Yeah, sometimes they redo. They put a new set of tickets out.
Now you have to go on. Keep going on the Chelsea,
website. Yeah.
Keep going on that, and sometimes they come up. Something
Is
happens.
the ticket exchange out yet?
Sorry?
Is the ticket exchange out yet?
Yeah, of course. Ticket exchange is there every day. You just have to go, and you have to be on it all day sometimes to get a ticket, because everyone's waiting for a ticket. It's not easy.
I totally forgot about that. I forgot that we play Chelsea in a week's time. I forgot about that.
Sunday,
That's gonna be
4:30 kickoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure even if I'm going out. It depends if Staff's friend.
Man, we have to beat this Liverpool team. I do not care.
Yeah.
This not, I'm being sorry, Dex, but we need to beat you. We need to beat you. Bro.
Terrified. I think we're gonna get our revenge this time. It's coming. Yeah. Sorry, Dex, but revenge.
We'll be the same as well. We need to win that game as well because
I know it'll be some game. Yeah, it's got to be a big game that is massive. Yeah, so I was saying, should we do the ratings?
Yeah,
let's get to it.
Yeah. So I'll start off with Bobby. He's next to me right now. We go, round. Bobby, give us your rating. What should we do the whole team? Because we're running out of time. Give us ratings for the Chelsea team, Bobby. Starting from Mendy.
Mendy, I'll give a 5 because I know there was a foul against him. He pulled off one good save, but I think Mendy mentally he needs a rest. I hope he doesn't play against Zagreb. Is it Zagreb? I've forgotten who I played. Dinamo, Zagreb, whatever. Yeah. I think he does need a rest. And he's not been playing well. So him, I'll give 5. Centre backs, Thiago definitely an 8.5. Sorry, if not even a 9. Koulibaly, I'll give a 7. Because I think he's still finding his way, getting used to the rhythm of the Premier League. Fofana, I'll definitely give a 9. I thought he had an excellent debut, and it's unfortunate he couldn't keep wasn't on the clean sheet. So I go into the midfield.
Yeah.
The middle, starting from the middle, Ruben. I'll give Ruben a 7 because he's our utility player. He's everywhere in the middle of the park, and he's very useful to us. It was a low block physical game, and he stood up to it. On the right side, the wing back, Reece James is Reece James. Always, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Solid game, although he did cause the first goal. On the other side is Cucurella. He had a relatively good game. Yet again, still getting used to the way Chelsea play. I will give him a 7. Going up the field a bit. Where have we got? Conor Gallagher, right? Conor from the middle. I'll give Conor a. I'll give Conor 6.5. He was up against a low block, so he couldn't show his qualities. The problem with Conor is that Conor doesn't really have natural ability. You know, he's a hustler, what I call a hustler of a footballer. And I think he'll come good. I hope he plays in a Champions League game, because Conor, when there's a bit more space in front of him in that position, we'll start to see what he can do. And he's learning all the different scenarios you come across when you're in a top club like Chelsea. Who was on the left? Oh gosh, the strikers. Didn't really see much of Pulisic, or indeed Sterling, to be honest. So I'll give Pulisic a 5. He really didn't. He could have done so much more, but yet again, the low block did him and confused him. Sterling, yet again, he was stifled a bit by the low block. I'll give him a 6. It wasn't one of his better games. Who else? Who have I missed out? Have I got through the whole team? Was there somebody on the right I've missed out? I think that's it, really.
Yeah.
Shall I go into the subs? Mount came on, did well. 6, I'll give him. He was very active, but of course wasn't there from the beginning. Havertz, because of his goal, I'll give him a 7.5. Ben Chilwell coming back from injury, scoring a goal. He seemed to really liven things up. I'll give him a 9 for that. And Brozier, new contract, put himself about, warming up as a centre forward. I'll give Brozier a 7.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking roughly, Bobby. Let's move to Dex. Let's welcome Tobago here. He came in. He's coming late, but sooner than never, as they say, never than later. Whatever.
You mean lateness is greatness?
Welcome Tobago. The coolers. I must mention Tobago's channel, the coolers Chelsea. He started roughly just before we started, a few days difference, I think. And yeah, he's a good channel. I recommend. I think most of you know about it, but if you don't, go and have a look. Great content. I'll go there myself. You know, when he asks me. Yeah. Welcome Tobago. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Good, my friend. Yeah. Anyway,
I need to go soon.
all right. Yeah, you go
can I
ahead.
do my ratings?
Certified. Yeah, all right. Do your ratings then.
Yeah, it's gonna be quick and then I'll leave. So Mendy gets a 5, Thiago gets an 8, Koulibaly gets a 6, Fofana gets a 7, Cucurella gets a 6, Reece James gets a 7, Conor Gallagher gets a 6, Loftus-Cheek gets a 4, Sterling gets a 5, Pulisic gets a 4. Substitutes Havertz, he gets a 6.5. He did okay. I liked his movement. I wish he just did it consistently. Mount gets a 5. I just wish he came on a little bit earlier to do what he was doing. Brozier gets a 6. Did well with his movement as well. Chilwell gets a 9. So yeah, that's all. See ya, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, certified.
See you later.
Yeah, good ratings. Yeah, stuff. Yeah, go. Sorry, Dex, you were saying something.
Oh no, I was just saying see you later, certified.
Yeah, go. Let's go to Stav.
Yeah, Mendy 5.
That's generous, I think. Go.
Yeah, I'm always generous. Right, Mendy 5, Fofana 8, 8 for Silva, 7 for Koulibaly, 3 7, Cucurella 6, and Ruben 7, Connor 6. Up front, who was up front?
Sterling, Pulisic.
There was 3, wasn't there?
Yeah, we had Sterling. We had 2
Gallagher.
up front. Gallagher was just behind Sterling and Pulisic.
Oh yeah. So who else played in the centre?
In the
Kovacic.
centre,
Huh? No, in the centre
Kovacic.
midfield. Kovacic. Yeah.
Kovacic.
See,
yeah,
everybody.
Kovacic. Yeah.
Everybody's forgotten Kovacic. Did
Yeah,
anybody
that's
read
right.
him?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, Kovacic, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'll give them 7 each. So up front, Gallagher. What did I say for Gallagher? I said 6, didn't I?
6, you said. Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Sterling 6. I didn't think he was that great. Pulisic 4. He just didn't look comfortable or happy or anything. Substitutes. Havertz 7 for the goal. Chile 8, because I don't like giving substitutes who only played part games really high. But I'll give him 8 because he scored and he assisted. Broja 7 because he really ruffled them and got into them. Anyone else?
Yeah, no, that's all of them. Yeah. Mason Mount.
Yeah,
You did a
Mason 7.
7. Yeah.
All the substitutes did well.
They did. They changed the game for
They
me.
changed the game.
Yeah.
Changed the game.
They
And,
changed
and
the
they all
game.
got
Yeah, go.
and they all got the kick in. They got the kick in the arse that they needed. Right.
Yeah.
And I'll even give Thomas Tuchel a 7, despite everything I've said about him.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
he made the right move. The right move to drop them and to bring them on. You know, that was good for me. Yeah. Let's go to Tobago. What's your take
Wait.
on the game?
Give Dex.
Nick,
Give Dex
Nick,
first.
sorry, Tobago, I'm going, Nick. Nick, I'm going, right?
Are you going stuff?
Yeah, I need to
all
go.
right, we're going to
I need to
finish
go on my
soon.
machine.
Yeah, okay.
I need to go on my machine.
All right.
Let me know.
Anyway,
Let me know about tomorrow night, right?
of course. Yeah, I'm going to text you. Yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
Speak
All
to you
right.
all later.
Thanks, stuff for coming as usual, as
Later,
always.
Dex. Later, Tobago.
See you later.
Big up.
See you, stuff. Thanks for coming. Yeah, Tobago. Let's. What's your take on the game?
Oh, I thought you were going to give Dex first, and then I'll come after.
You wanted to Dex? Dex already said his lineup, and yeah. Anyway, Dex, what's your final thoughts on everything?
Yeah, no, like I said, good performance. Chelsea had to do what they had to do. They got the win. In a rightly so fashion. I just think the midfield needs to do a bit more better, but then that'll just come with time. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of changes for Zagreb when you guys play on Tuesday night. Like I said, it'd be good to see Broja have a game up front, see what he does against in the Champions League, because it's a good platform for young players to perform. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because we talked about a lot of things. Yeah. Tobago, give us your take on the game. See what you have to say. Yeah.
Okay. To be honest, from my side, we started well, and then we end up boring until the first half ended. The second half, we saw a lot of energy, and then we considered a silly goal. Uh, uh, I don't know how we're going to fix the set piece part of our defense. Every time we concede corner kicks, and sometimes Mendy's not doing enough. And I'm not saying he's the only one, but again, if you're a goalkeeper and then you punch a ball in your penalty area, you must make sure that you punch it way fairer so that you won't get a rebound in order to be punished. And then Mendy is keeping doing that all the time, and it's so frustrating. So I hope on Tuesday Kepa plays and give us a better performance, and then maybe win the spot for the West Ham game. But again, I don't feel like Thomas Tuchel trust Kepa a lot. So hopefully in January that kid can come, Gaga Slonina, and challenge Mendy in that position, because without Mendy being challenged, he will give us this performance every time. Even the second goal of West Ham, yes, it was a foul, but Mendy at the end of the day should have done better. As a goalkeeper in your penalty area, this is your area. You must make sure that everything is clear. So he shouldn't have just punched that ball. He should have just catch that ball, because it's a back pass from James James. A header, no need to punch it. It's yours as a goalkeeper. So overall, those substitute came early. They changed the game. I'm happy finally. Um, I don't hate our players. I don't hate Mount. I don't hate Kayavets. I don't hate Georgina. But if you are not performing a match for us, you're not giving us something, you need to be dropped. So I'm glad they were dropped, and then they came in the second half with that hunger, with energy, and then they changed the game for us, and then we end up winning 2-1. So overall, I'm happy with the performance after that goal. It shows that we are not backing down from being one goal like behind and stuff, just like the Southern game. We're winning 1-0, and then we end up conceding 2 goals, and then we couldn't fight back. So hopefully, now Thomas Tuchel, as he said, and I was always emphasizing this, Thomas Tuchel is doing a lot of things. His team transfer negotiations and stuff. So that guy is doing a lot of things at the same time. So now he needs to focus on his team to get a pattern in order to have a style of play. Yes, we're complaining about that, but the first time Thomas Tuchel came in, we play much better than now. And then again, losing Rudiger and Christensen had our team, because they were core of what we were doing, building from the back. And then the money we invested for Fofana and Koulibaly, we should have got a proper midfielder there. So overall, I'm happy we won the game, but we need more. As Chelsea fans, we need more. And then, as I said, Klopp, Arteta, and Pep, they had time to build their squad. Thomas Tuchel is not perfect. He's just a human being. Give him time to build his team, and then we'll judge him after that. That's why
Mm.
this season, I just want us to be in the top four. Not even in one trophy, I'll be fine, but not be out of top four. And even if we won't be in the top four, don't sack him. Give him time. We need to give our managers time. I hate it when we sack managers time and time again. For example, you got 6 players and then we sack him. The next manager buy 10 players, we sack him. What is that? We need a stability there. So overall, I'm happy, Nick.
Yeah, I agree with you, every word you said. Mendy has to be dropped. I've been saying it since that Brentford game, and he's still playing. I can't believe Tuchel doesn't see what we see. Too many mistakes, too many now. And yesterday could have cost us a game again. It's not the first time. Against Leicester, the same. So he has to be dropped. Give Kepa the chance. Kepa is, he's on the bench. You see, willing the players on, shouting for the players, hugging them and telling Havertz before he went on. If you saw yesterday, he was telling Havertz, be going there, getting there. That's why Kepa is a real Chelsea lad. He loves Chelsea. He doesn't want to go, but we'll give him the chance. And and like you said, Tuchel needs the time, of course. That's why I keep saying we can't judge Tuchel right now. Wait till the end of the season, we see where we at. Then we talk about Tuchel. I had all these, people saying Tuchel out and all. Doesn't make sense to me. We see, a few of them on Twitter putting polls out. Tuchel, are you Tuchel in or Tuchel out? What a lot of nonsense is that? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah. So, go on, Dex. You were saying, Dex.
Okay, Des, you can go on. Even Des is a Liverpool fan. Like,
Yeah.
and
He's
after
a Liverpool fan, Tobago, but he talks straight about
yes, and
his club and our club. That's what I like
yes,
about Dex. He's a very good panelist. Yeah,
yes,
and
and
yeah, go on.
yes, Nick. Like as I was saying, I remember the season where Liverpool lost Van Dijk. They were underperforming, but I couldn't see the fans saying, "Club out, club out, club out."
No,
But
yeah,
when it comes to our fan base, when we are not doing well, we keep on saying to chill out, to chill out. We should support our team. If you're not doing well, that means that time is not our time to perform, and we'll bounce back. That's football. So it shows Van Dijk was very important for them. Even with us, like especially after losing N'Golo Kante, I knew that we would struggle in the midfielder
mm,
because Jorginho is a good player, but at the end of the day, it's not good enough because players know how to go after him. Just like the Western game, he came in the second half, he made one silly mistake, we end up we almost got punished because of that. That's why I'm saying like Jorginho in the Champions League, he can play against that team. I can say it's a small team, but again, it's Champions League, so I don't want to disrespect them. But again, it is that team won't hurt us just like West Ham, so he can play there. But in the league, I want physical players, and then Loftus-Cheek in the game, in the West Ham game, just showed Jorginho what to do. If you lose the ball, you should go back and track back and then win the ball. He did that
yeah,
a lot of times. But with Jorginho, after losing a ball, we know he will struggle to track back. So that's the issue I have with the midfielder. And then after that Southampton lose, we went for Alvarez, the Mexican guy from Ajax. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him due to the Ajax had less time to replace them because the transfer window for them closes before other leagues. So I can understand that. But again, hopefully in January we need to get him ASAP because in the midfielder, that's where you win football. And we, as Tuchel said, we're soft in the midfielder because we don't challenge. Like teams are easy bullying us there. So hopefully Zakaria will come there, help us out until N'Golo Kante comes fit, so that we can still have N'Golo Kante, Zakaria that can fight for our midfielders because it's not good enough. Even Kovacic now is not himself. So hopefully he'll start picking form.
yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, we have to wait for Zakaria. Hopefully, he'll be ready soon. We are still waiting for his work permit. And Jorginho, I love Jorginho. I always backed him, sang his name every time. Got the crowd going. With Jorginho. When even when he was on bad form, I backed him all the way. But his time, you can tell he's,
Are you there, Nick?
even 2 seasons ago, some people on the streams, even hosts, were saying there's enough for Kanti, get Kanti out. What were they talking about, these people? I told them, you can't replace N'Golo Kanti. That he's the best in the world at his position. He's unreplaceable. And why are we're keeping him and we're giving him a contract? I'm glad for that. And it looks like Jorginho is the one who's going to go. But, for people, Chelsea fans to say things like that about N'Golo Kante really got me really worse than angry. I couldn't digest it. I was swearing at them because they didn't know what they were saying. They forgot what he did for us. He won the league with Leicester. He came to Chelsea and won it for Chelsea. That was down to him mostly. So, and you can't replace a guy like that. God. Yeah, that's what I want to say about N'Golo. What a man, what a player, what a gentleman. You can't get better than him. I'm sure Dex will agree. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I thought so, Dex, because you know what football is about. Yeah, so we're just us three left now. We're coming to the end. We've been on there Tobago for nearly 3 hours now. It was a very good stream tonight. Very good. Yeah.
Nick,
Go on, Dex.
shall I just quickly say my ratings?
Yeah, of course. I forgot you didn't say them. God, sorry.
No, that's all right. It's fine. Yeah, no, I'll quickly just say them. Mendy, for me, give him a 4. He made one good save, and apart from that, he just needs to be dropped.
Yeah.
Looking a bit tired and that, and making mistakes. Koulibaly, I'll give him a 6. Fofana, I'll give him a 7. Silva, I'll give him a 7. Midfield,
Yeah, go on, Dex. Can you hear me?
I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we lost him. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah,
Okay, let me give my ratings then.
Yeah, go. Yeah, you go, Tobago.
can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
well, I
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Dex.
Yeah, and sorry, yes. Sterling, and I'll give Sterling a 7, and then the substitutes. Jorginho, I'll give him a 4 because he didn't really do anything really when he came on. Broja, I'll give Broja a 7. He fought well, ran hard, did his best. I don't know who else came. Oh yeah, Ben Chilwell. Give Chilwell an 8 because he scored a really good goal, and he changed the game when he came on. Who else is there? Who came on as a sub for Chelsea? Oh, I can't remember now.
Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz. Havertz, I'll give Havertz a 7. He done okay. He done really well. And then, who's the last one? Can't remember the last sub now.
Oh, okay. It's the one Jorginho, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Chilwell.
Oh, Mason Mount. Oh, okay. Mason Mount, I'll give him a 7.
Mason Mount.
Yeah, Mason Mount, I'll give him a 7. Yeah, that's mine done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not bad ratings, really. Go on, Tobago. Give us
Okay,
yours.
my rating, Edward Mendy. I'll be harsh on him. I'll give him a 3 because he's not good enough at the moment. So I don't know what is happening with him. As you said, as a Chelsea fan, he need to be benched. Not because we don't rate him, we don't love him, but again, if you're not performing well, you need to be dropped. And then after 2 games and stuff, you'll come back and fight for your position. So Mendy a 3 for me. Thiago Silva, my man of the match. Oh man, that guy. Oh, I wish he was young. But again, I'll give him an 8. And then Wesley Fofana, he done well. I'll give him a 7. Koulibaly was on and off. I'll give him a 6. Coqueret, I'll give him a 6. Rhys James, a 7. Loftus-Cheek, I'll give him a 7 because he was able to track back and stuff. Kovacic is not himself at the moment. I'll give him a 6. Conor Gallagher, I'll give him a 5. But again, we'll get used to play for Chelsea, so I won't be harsh on him. And then Sterling, I'll give him a 6 because I felt like they had no connection him and Pulisic. And Pulisic, I'll give him a 6 also. Okay, Mason Mount, I'll give him a 7. And then Kai Havertz a 7, Chilwell an 8, Broja a 7 because they changed the game. But Jorginho, I'll give him a 3 because he came in. We almost end up being considered a goal because of his errors. So I don't understand, man. As a midfielder, you don't need to be caught on those kind of areas. And he has experience, so that's worrying me. So hopefully Zakaria will come and fit into our club, and so that Jorginho can be dropped. Not saying like Jorginho, you don't like him, but again, at the moment, he's not good enough. And he's slow. Oh, we just lost Nick. Hopefully he'll come back soon. So, Dex, I wanted to ask you something about the Liverpool game. Where do you
Yeah, sure.
where do you think your club need to improve? Because you're playing well, but again, you couldn't finish those chances you're creating, even though there were not a lot of chances, but you should have won that game.
Mm. For me, I think Klopp made a bit of a wrong decision starting Nunes over Firmino. I think Firmino should have started that game because Firmino's been in good form the last 2 games against Bournemouth and Newcastle. So I think he should have started Firmino over Nunes. Personally, for me, I think that's kind of where it went wrong because the thing about Firmino, even though he doesn't get a lot of chances, when he does, he creates a lot of chances and he can also sometimes finish in the box. And I think that's what we kind of missed because Nunes sometimes kept going missing on the left hand side a lot, which I don't get. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we went wrong for us. I think it was that. And I think we just need to be a bit more clinical in the final third. We can score goals, of course we did. We scored 9 goals against Bournemouth, so it's not like we can't score goals. I think it's just that we're not consistent with our finishing. So I think if we get a bit more consistent in the final third, take chances when they come, we should be okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then sometimes I feel like managers
So,
should do something. For example,
yeah,
uh,
sorry, something happened. I'm back now.
no problem, no
All
problem.
right.
I was talking with Dex. For example, you showed a midfielder. So why Klopp implement the system, for example, a 4-2-3-1 system in order to play Firmino as a number 10 and then Nunes as a 9? Because Firmino is so good playing as a 10 also. You can't drop
Yeah.
Firmino because he's doing well at the moment. That's what's annoying because
Oh,
Firmino.
yeah.
So So
I mean,
sometimes, like,
I do hear
yes,
you. I do hear you, Tobago, but it's actually quite ironic. I'll go back to what Nick said about Tuchel. That Tuchel's stubborn. Well, Klopp's stubborn in the way that he likes to play. He doesn't change formation. He loves the four
Yeah,
three
it's
three
true. Yeah.
because it's worked out for him so long. He's always played that formation, and the only time he's ever changed formation was, I don't know, it was ages ago. I think it was not last season, the season before that, when we played City at the Etihad. He went for a 4-2-3-1 in that game, and he played all of our front four. He played Mane, Jota, Firmino, and Salah, and we did really well in that game. But even though we lost, we still did well. But ever since then, like, Klopp's always played the 4-3-3 because, he loves playing that formation, and that's just how he set up. But I disagree. I don't. I 100% agree with you. All the Liverpool fans recently, even at the start of the season, they all thought that Klopp's going to try a new formation out, and everyone was saying 4-2-3-1. But obviously, Klopp's hasn't done it, and I don't think he will. Yeah, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, we might see something at Napoli on Wednesday night, but we'll just have to wait and see. I hope Arthur Melo plays in that game because I think Arthur Melo is a really good footballer, and I'm actually happy we signed him on loan from Juventus because I think he'll give us that Thiago sort of play style that we've been missing in that midfield because Arthur's sort of similar to Thiago. He's not the same as in like player quality, but Arthur's the
yes,
same.
you're
Like,
right.
he's got good passing. He's very skilled on the ball. He keeps the ball very well. He's a bit like Jorginho and Thiago mixed in one. He likes to keep
Yeah.
the ball a
Yes.
lot. So yeah.
Dex, sorry to interrupt. I have to end the stream right now. We can talk backstage. Yeah, because we are over 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Uh,
that's fine.
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah, that's
no
fine. I'll
problem.
go off as well.
yeah. So Tobago, thanks for coming, even if you were late. We kept going for a bit more.
Lateness is greatness.
Yes, I was going to end the stream, but you came along and I kept it going
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
Okay, no problem. You
you
can
know
end
you
it. It's fine.
I
Yeah,
have
that's
to
cool. Yeah, no
now, but
worries.
I'll meet
Yeah.
you in backstage. Yeah, so thanks a lot for all the panelists who come on tonight. Everyone came on tonight. Thanks to Bobby, Max, Stav, Certify, Trezeguet, Dex, of course, and then who's
Yeah,
here
thanks.
still, and Tobago who came as well. Thanks a lot for all of you who came along. It was a great stream tonight, really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we'll be back. We see for the Chelsea Zagreb game. We're playing on Tuesday. We might do a preview tomorrow. Let's see what. I think we might
Okay.
probably will, but I will let you all know as usual.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and yeah. So thanks, people, for everyone in the chat who came along. People watching the stream. And when we're getting there slowly. We will get there even better when we have all the right equipment. So thanks a lot to everyone. Bless you all. Up the Chelsea, and let's hope we move on and Tuchel gets it right. Thanks a lot. Goodbye to everyone. Music. Yeah.